dialed in to Box and Brews, you might hear something you can use. Like tips on your cash or tips on the suds. You're gonna want to use the smarts of these stuff. Cause they know the brews, and they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks. So listen up, cause shit's not funny. And save yourself some beer money. Bucks and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks and brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. So things are a little different today. Mike's here with me on the porch, and Nick is not because he's being a baby. Oh, sorry, he's not feeling well.
I'm trying to be cautious of you guys because the way I look at it, we only have like 4 weeks until we leave, right? And I don't know. Let's just say that this thing lasts 2 weeks. And if I go there now and it takes a little bit to get to you guys, and then I just don't want to risk anything. Like at this point, I'm trying to be so cautious that my wife's getting pissed with me, and she's like, "Just go do something, get out of my fucking face." And I was like, "I don't want to go anywhere."
We'll be getting on the boat in like 3.5 weeks.
It's 25 days.
25 days.
Yes, I'm counting down.
I'm leaving Tuesday, so I appreciate your caution, Nick.
Where are you going?
Disney!
Oh, nice. So for those that don't see Wendy is here with us. Wendy is married to Jim, who is on the show quite often. We do have a themed episode today. We have a lot to get to, but we're going to talk healthcare and how fucked up it is, because I know Wendy's been pretty pissed off about healthcare lately, and
specifically insurance, but the entire healthcare.
Yeah. And of course, I work in healthcare, so I'm always on the soapbox somewhere. Before we get to that, last week's episode has the most views we've ever had on YouTube. We're like north of 250.
That's not a bad thing to have. And
Not at all.
And we just hit number 2 for indie investing podcast, right? Like that was freaking awesome to me.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm looking right now. It was number 2 on the top 100 indie investing chart, number 28 on the top 100 investing chart, and then 42 on top 100 indie business chart.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
I mean, so we're independent people that are number 2. Like that's fucking badass, dude.
So
that means we're the next people in line to get sponsored eventually.
Probably not.
I mean, well, that's what it says, right? In theory, you turn from independent.
We should probably talk about what we're drinking before we get into some other news. So I had stuff for you, Nick, but you didn't come, so fuck you.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I have Just Another Day from Black Calder, the IPL, which I do like. And then I have from O'Fallon, which I love O'Fallon beer. This one is Salty Caramel Pumpkin Beer, which is quite tasty.
Ooh, that sounds good. Save me that.
I will save you one. I got to save my wife one too. So, Mike, what do you have? Mike has a whole cooler of stuff.
Well, he gave one of the Black Calder ones, and
the Salted Caramel.
And the Salted Caramel. They've got Jolly Pumpkin Artisan Ales. It's called Bambier. It's a farmhouse ale. Doesn't look like it's going to have any pumpkin egg. It's just called Jolly Pumpkin. And then for the brewing company, Big Wave Golden Ale. Their theme is Liquid Aloha.
Not from Hawaii.
Not from Hawaii. From California. Which this is the closest state to Hawaii that's not Hawaii.
It technically is, yes. Nick, what you got?
Oh man, say with my sore throat, I'm drinking Bud Light, and I don't know. I'm in my basement, and so I mean you can see some bottles. I'm surrounded by beer, so we'll see what I end up.
I think you need a hot toddy.
I do.
That'll soothe the throat.
Yes, it will.
Throw a little honey in it.
Yeah.
Wendy has exciting stuff.
I made myself cocoa.
Oh, ooh, cocoa. Wow.
It's almost that time.
Peppermint schnapps in that cocoa?
No.
Wendy is not a drinker, so no alcohol.
Neither is my mom, though, and she keeps caramel and peppermint schnapps just for cocoa.
That's awesome.
She hides them in the cupboard because no one thinks she drinks.
We lost Nick.
No, that happens. He'll come back at some point. He probably has a phone call.
Can you hear me?
Could put in
We can
like, a
hear
little
you,
peppermint
yes.
candy or something.
Okay, great.
Or a caramel candy, a Werther's or something like that.
So Nick, we can hear you. Are you still there?
I am.
So
Sorry.
I am wearing a new shirt today, Nick.
I seen this. This shirt looks awesome.
Yes, I have one for you as well. This is from the great MLVC, which did our theme song.
Hell yes.
That's Slide Bass Bobby and MC Gweed. It seems I said DJ Gweed last time, so I fucked that up.
Oh,
MC Gweed. And their new album that's out, Dog with Shelf.
okay.
Yep.
Uh,
People go, hey, Slide Bass Bobby, what does Dog with Shelf mean? He goes, it means absolutely nothing.
A dog.
means
That's
it all.
Pretty much. So they want to re-record the song because they both say it sucks. I love it.
I love it.
Oh, dude, I love it. There's no point in changing something that's
At this
great.
point, it's not. It would be remix again.
Yes.
Remix.
So yes, that's the album, Wendy, Dog with Shelf. Wendy just found it, I'm guessing, on Spotify.
iTunes.
iTunes, yes. So if you have not, go out and download Dog with Shelf from MLVC. We have some of those songs on the Break Room playlist to work. So I had a thought. Oh, Nick. So the last time we went live,
Yeah,
we talked to a young man named Joshua. You remember this?
we did.
And you sent him some swag because he said he loved our logo. And he had this whole plan about going into business. And I got a message from him the other day. And as I'm scrolling here, he got a building. He got a loan to start his business. He's got 2 trucks and a guy that works part-time with him.
Wow.
He's putting 25% in savings, which is great. And he wants to send us some clothes for his business once he gets that worked out. And I told him, I said, dude, when you're ready to start investing, get a hold of us. He goes, I would not listen to anybody else but David and Nick when it comes to investing.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to Joshua. Thank you so much for trusting us with, listening to our bullshit.
What kind of business is he doing?
Do you remember what he does?
HVAC.
That's what it was. He was starting an HVAC business. I want to say he's in Alabama or Georgia.
Yeah, somewhere down south there.
Yeah, somewhere south. So
he was moving. It was like from to there. Yeah.
Yeah, he was really excited, and we gave him some ideas. What do you think of that? I think it's better than IPAs.
It's because it's an IPL.
It's because it's an IPL. After 2, I was sold. I will tell you, the salty caramel is delicious.
Can't wait. I'm very excited. Sorry.
I don't think that helps when I had something really good and now I'm drinking.
Probably not. So I was really excited about that. I'm not going to talk about this much because I'm not, but I had to go into work on Friday, and there was a highly inappropriate conversation I'll have to tell you about off the air, Nick.
Oh man, that sounds great.
It had me rage texting. I was so angry at the highly inappropriate conversation.
Oh, all right.
So,
I mean, we'll definitely talk about it off the air.
Yeah,
we'll talk.
Unfortunately, too many people know where I work, and I don't, want to out anybody for being a moron.
Yeah. I say I've spent the past, 2 days keeping people out of jail. So,
anybody I like or nobody I like?
Nobody have any idea, right? Just owners of properties and things. Yeah. So, Nick being Superman and getting rewarded and nothing for it.
Have we gotten our money back from the bank?
Yes.
And the
every dime.
Oil change place?
I didn't get my money back in theory from them because my receipt stated what it was. Because I signed saying It's fine. I didn't know they overcharged me in a certain way, right? So then the guy gave me discounts and stuff like that. So I'll get that paid. That wasn't too big of an overcharge kind of a thing. So my pay stub, that one, in theory, I didn't get the money. The bounce check was apparently they wrote 2 checks of the same type. They canceled one of them. Because I'm the only person that still gets a paper check in this world, the one had been sitting around for, let's say, a month, and then she kind of forgot that it had been canceled and gave it to me. And so then of course, I cashed it, right? And as I said, like getting an extra paycheck, I'm like, oh shit. So I went and so we bought our flights.
Oh,
right?
you finally bought flights.
Yeah. We'll see if we're fucking going because of this stupid weather.
When do you get in? You flying Saturday?
Saturday night at like 11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And then we fly home 10 o'clock on that Saturday morning. So, but yeah, I finally had the money in theory to book those flights, and then I don't have. So it's like, oh shit. So I did a bunch of moving around of money really, really quickly. I have to eat a little bit of cost because my bank's charging me, and honestly, I'm just going to charge it back to the company and say you cost me money, so I'll get it back.
Yeah,
it'll just take a couple. Like I'm not eating. You know me, I don't eat fucking cost. Right?
Oh, I know.
Say, I'll fight for my $35 canceled check or $12 overdraft. I've never overdrafted in my life, right? Like never in my life have I overdrafted. And this was the first time that it actually happened because literally like $11,000 came out of my account all at kind of once. And that was like, I don't know many people that cannot overdraft in a checking account. Right. So yeah.
I almost played a prank on you the other day.
Uh-oh.
So we both had exciting news for each other. Nick, do you want to share the exciting news that you gave us? Logo news.
Oh, I know what he's talking about.
Jack Razor.
I do, yeah. Sorry, thank you. So I gave you guys some great news. We officially, I reached out to Jack Razor and was like, hey, can you make this pesos and cervezas? And he officially came through clutch. We officially have all 3 logos. We have Bucks and Brews, the original. We have Pops and Pennies for the kids. And we have We're Traveling International Pesos and Cervezas.
Yes, we do.
I'm really excited about that. I did not order the holographic stickers because I'm a child and don't know how to make up my mind of which one I want. I didn't want the holographic in Pesos and Cervezas. I kind of wanted Pops and Pennies because I thought they were cool for the kids. But I got busy in life.
Mine will get here tomorrow.
Yeah. And then this week's discount, I don't want. They're like charms or something. I'm like, that's stupid. So I'm waiting for just like the cheap stickers. So I'll get them. But yeah, really excited for Pesos and Cervezas. Jack Razor, again, huge shout out. We're not going to be those people and not give him credit for his artwork.
We probably need to send him some money too.
Yeah, we should do something for him.
So my news was the MLVC shirts.
Ah.
But Mike and I talked, and we were gonna, tell you that we got our dicks rated by Sarah last week, and she gave us both A+, and she was gonna tell you that yours sucked.
Okay with that. Like I would say, A, she'll never see it, but dude, I can't tell you. Okay, so this is a true fucking conversation. We do this podcast right on Tuesday of last week. On Thursday, I had this business meetup, and I kind of mentioned our episode, and this chick's like, "Oh, I'm gonna start doing dick ratings," and like I fucking lose. I was like, "Oh my god, this is the second time this week we're talking about dick ratings." I was like, and so then we get into this whole thing about how I'm gonna start my business of doing this, so yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys got A+. That's great.
I'm gonna tell you, nobody's sending you a picture of their dick.
Bullshit. $20 I can get one in 5 minutes right now.
You probably could. You're right.
Yes.
Say, put your money where your mouth is.
Actually,
the problem is Nick's the type of person that if somebody says, "Hey, send me a picture of your dick," he's sending it immediately.
Fact.
So, anyways, back into this. So,
Thanks for joining us.
I had reached out to Wendy because she had a post a week or two ago about being pissed off at the hoops you have to jump through with insurance companies and such. And of course, I know that well because I work for one. And
He is the hoop. Okay.
I always say, if they give us the runaround, what the hell do normal people go through? Because I get the runaround all the damn time, and I know what's supposed to happen. So Wendy does not know what's supposed to happen, got the runaround, and I'm like, all right, you got to come and join us, and that's why Wendy's here.
We were supposed to have another guest.
We were, who's going through medical issues.
Yeah.
But he sucks and he never comes up for anything.
Yep. He always has to work.
That will happen.
Well, I mean, he works a shitty job, but anyway. Yeah. So, Wendy, do you want to tell us specifically what you were pissed off about the other day?
Absolutely. So we've had our current insurance, which is through Blue Cross Blue Shield, Massachusetts, because that's
I
where
had
my
that for a couple
company's-
years.
That's where my husband's company is headquartered. The fiscal year began at the 1st of August, so we've had this insurance for 2 months now. Every time we've used it, we've had an issue. When my son was having a problem with his eye, he had ended up with an ulcer in his eye because he doesn't wear safety glasses in the shop, and he's an auto mechanic, and he took something in the eye, and he needed to see an eye doctor. He went to the eye doctor. They saw him, they took his insurance, no problem. Then he went to the pharmacy to fill his prescription for drops, and they said, this card is not for prescriptions. So what does he do? He calls mom, because mom knows the answer. Mom says, are you using the right card? And he's like, yeah, it's Blue Cross. It starts on August 1st. Yeah, I'm using the right one. And I said, it says RX on it, like 3 places. It says RX. It has the RX bin number. It has the RX group number. It says RX in the lower right-hand corner, so people know it's for prescriptions. He took it back up to the counter, and they're like, oh, sorry.
Oh, my God.
And they filled his prescription.
Yeah, I think they see the word, because with my company, well, we're Cigna now, which is related to his company now.
We do use
for a
Cigna
couple
as a
of
network.
years, for a couple of years after we were first bought, we were similarly Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts. Now, I had Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan prior to that. I don't think it was as bad, but still, I think they see Massachusetts and they're like, I have no clue what I'm supposed to do.
Or they don't look at all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they see
They see it's Blue
Massachusetts
Cross, and
and
they
they're
just
like,
automatically think Michigan.
Well, and I want to throw this out here. So most people don't realize when you go to the doctor or when you go to the pharmacy and they go, I need your ID card. That's horse shit. They don't. They can look up all of the information to see what you have that's current. Because in all honesty, I can give them a card, from 3 years ago that's not a current ID card we use anymore. So when they ask me for my ID card so they can make a copy of it, my answer is, yeah, I don't have that. Well, we need it next time you come. Okay.
the next time we
And the next time I come, they go, can I have your ID card? And I go, yeah, I don't have that.
But my answer is the same as you, David. In the actually, I do carry one in my wallet. Do you know what I carry it for? I think I still have my Gentex one. Actually, I just used it just a couple days ago. I picked open a door.
Yep.
Took me about 35 seconds.
When I used that happy old, expired credit card to break into Nation of Hate stores when
that was a long time ago.
When he would be at work.
Yeah. Caitlin had an old My Child card when when I didn't have insurance for her, and I used that to break into houses. I broke into the house next door because they locked their keys in the house, and that was when I didn't, hate the person next door.
I started having to break in slower, so that way people didn't think that I was doing this criminally, right? Because people start to get concerned when you can just walk up and be like, click, click, done. And like, oh crap. So like I started doing it slower. But I didn't know, like, it's funny because I've never had issues or really given two shits like Wendy,
Mhm.
right? Like she's had these issues. I usually just go, all right, cool. I'm here. I'm going to see them. If you don't take my insurance, I'll pay the bill eventually, or I'll send it to the insurance and they'll pay it and they'll figure it out. Because at this point, like I'm just here to do what I'm here for. I'm not here to figure out insurance. That's not my job. That's not my, like, yes, it's part of my body, but like, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. You figure out how to bill people. You figure out whatever. If I
Well,
have a
again, one
problem
of
with
the
it,
things going on, especially here, is you have half of the people pushing for we need better health care, whether that's universal health care, whether that's just cheaper health care. And then you have half of them going, well, it's a business and you're not entitled to anything, which
yeah.
is bullshit because your health should not be a business
Why not?
because it's your health.
Well, but people are my business, right?
You and I don't agree on a lot of things here.
No, it's like healthcare actually is one of the things that we agree on quite a bit.
Probably more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because
You know,
again,
I
I hate the arguments of if we had universal health care, it'd take you weeks to see a doctor. I think that's bullshit because it takes me weeks to see a doctor.
right.
Oh, yeah. We get a lot of those around here.
Sorry, I'm
We're
trying to
watching
figure out.
we're watching wildlife while you're not here at the porch with us.
So sorry, I'm trying to figure out what type of beer I want.
Oh, well, you do that.
Incident.
Yes.
That was one of three, but since we've used it 3 times and we've had 3 problems. The second incident was just like 2 weeks ago. Our daughter got sick at college. She's supposed to have an in with my parents' doctor in the same town, but they were like, we are not taking new patients. And she frankly didn't have time to call my mom, have my mom call the doctor's office and say, you can really see her. It's only temporary. So she went to urgent care, which turned out to be the right solution anyway, because she needed tests. So she had a strep test and she had a COVID test, and both of them were negative. And then strangely, they didn't take her insurance information at the beginning of the appointment, but rather at the end. And when they looked at her insurance using the same card that our son had used a month prior, they said, this isn't you. Got your name, but your birth date's wrong. And she's like, well, what does it say my birth date is? And they told her, and it's 10 days off. And so she's like, that's not my birthday, but that's my insurance card. It's my dad's insurance. I can tell you all the details, whatever you need. They're like, we can't charge the insurance because the birth date's wrong. So she calls me, because what you do when your insurance doesn't work, you call your mom, who's not the employee that carries the insurance, but so I called Blue Cross of Massachusetts and I said, this is the problem she's having. And they said, well, you need to change that with the employer. And I'm like, I checked the enrollment documents. The enrollment documents have the correct birth date. So the problem is with Blue Cross, not with the employer. And she says, I'm sorry, I can't make that change. You'll have to call the employer. So I called the employer. I got a very helpful, it was not actually the employer, it was the benefits manager. I got a very helpful man who took care of everything within 24 hours, but we'll still get a bill for the full amount and have to refer it to the insurance rather than have them bill it directly, because they were not able to bill the insurance because the birth date was wrong. And it was not our fault, it was the Blue Cross fault.
So I will say this right now. If you call my company, which I'm not going to name, if you call my company and you say, hey, I have this information, but my birthday's wrong, all you have to do is submit proof that we fucked up. You don't have to go back to your employer, to my knowledge, because, these things might have happened with us before. And I didn't have to call my company and go, hey, wrong birthday. I just had to, say, hey, fix it.
Mhm.
And they went,
Yeah, but
okay.
Does it help that probably your insurance is through your company?
Well, I think it helps with the fact that the people that I deal with know I'm a huge fucking asshole.
That helps too, probably.
And they don't want to deal with me.
Yeah.
I'm just spitballing here, it's frustrating to me because being in the insurance field for 20 years, because I have a nice little bag behind me and I have a little pin inside the house that says I've been here for 20 years.
I got a nice little like plaque instead of a pin. I got a $2,500 check instead of a
Little bag.
instead of a little bag.
My 20-year award was when my kids moved out.
Is that a reward?
I don't
At
know.
times,
At the first night home alone tonight, it's not really a reward, is it?
Well, I mean, at
Oh,
least you're
yeah,
here with us for a little
yeah.
while. By the time
Just
you go
saying.
home, you might be ready to be alone.
I didn't think about the idea that you're probably like you said, one of your first nights. Nobody's
And that's essentially never happened in our
Mhm.
entire marriage because by the
Yeah.
time my husband started traveling for work,
kids.
You had
we had
kids.
kids.
Yeah.
So they were there. They weren't going to save me if something went wrong, but I was going to save them.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was still somebody there.
Yeah.
Whereas now there's not.
Nobody.
So if anybody knows where Wendy lives, don't fuck with her. She'll call me and I'll come over with all of my weapons and we'll fuck you up.
What was that? I mean, who
Well,
knows?
I'll
He
call
may piss
I'll
Dawn
call
off.
you, but
He
I
may
have
piss
to
Dawn
say-
off when she gets home, so he may be.
I may
Frank
come over to
Henderson.
Wendy's to sleep over there.
No, I'm not letting you in.
That might have happened a time or two that I pissed my wife off.
So Wendy, now what happened with your son? So basically they then re-looked at his card, and just they gave prescription that he needed.
They gave him the prescription that he needed and they charged him only the copay amount. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Because
your daughter,
neither he nor my daughter have money that they can just spend on that
Yeah.
stuff. They're insured through our plan for a reason.
Yeah.
They don't just have cash they can spend and then let it get sorted out later.
yeah, I mean,
I've had like when my daughter had her seizure, and it brings up what he kind of said is that nowadays you should be able to be like, look up names or whatever and figure out if you're insured. I mean, but like, had the ambulance coming, in the emergency after she had the seizure in the middle of the night, they came, they did what they needed to do when there was never a transaction of, gave them my ID, for like so they could write down my, information for, my address and stuff. But, then I get a bill for $1,500 of, hey, but you can, email us your insurance information and we'll, see what we can bill your insurance. And I'm like, so it's like, if they really don't need a card, why don't they just look it up and see that you're insured and figure out what you have?
My experience was slightly different. It's been 10 or 12 years ago now, I had to take an ambulance to the hospital because my husband was out of town. I put both kids on the bus from my bed and
Yeah.
literally could not get up. I've been so much that. And they took my insurance card in the ambulance.
Yeah.
They actually did what they needed to do to get me into it. But then you have your purse, right? You need your
Yeah.
insurance card.
Yeah.
Before we take you out of the ambulance, we
But
want
even
your
like-
insurance
Like I
card.
said, at that point, like I said, 10, 12 years ago, like I said, technology was, I mean, eventually I think there will be a more universal like medical record out there that'll
Mhm.
be much easier to be like. Sometimes that's always an issue with healthcare
Yes.
too, is if you're traveling for any reason and you're outside your hospital network that you're normally in, they have no clue what your history is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think eventually they said they need to have some sort of universal medical record where they can literally like check your, information and be like, oh, hey,
Drug
this person's
allergies for
drug
one.
allergies, other medical history, like.
Something
you
like that is long overdue
Mm-hmm.
because it's been possible for decades.
It has.
So again, we run this issue where instead of evolving with technology, we kind of get stuck in, we just want it to be simple and easy in the way it used to be and just go look this shit up, and you guys both make a great point. So in 15, I took a drive to Missouri and back because my aunt wanted to go to Arizona, and she had cancer and was dying, and we bought a fucking motorhome to do that for some stupid fucking reason. And she ended up non-responsive in Missouri. So we took her to the ER, called the ambulance and everything. And of course, I know some of the medical history, but I don't know all of it. I don't know what the hell she's allergic to. I have no idea. And the doctor walks into the room and he goes, she has end stage, colon cancer. She's dying. What the fuck do you want me to do? I need to know if I can drive back to Michigan, honestly. Is she going to make it? He goes, well, I don't think she's going to die in 3 days. If that's what you're asking me, I'm like, all right, well, that's kind of what I need to know.
That's what I'm asking, buddy.
The fact that that's stupid shit you have to ask is ridiculous, because in the times that we live in, almost everything is at the touch of your fingers, but your medical information, not necessarily, because if you're in another state, fuck you, we don't know anything.
And even with that, I mean, like you said, you talk about that. You were there, you knew kind of certain things. But you didn't know everything. But like I said, she was at a point where she wasn't going to travel by.
Right.
You can have certain condition and still travel alone. And if you end up, unresponsive somewhere, like I said, unless you're like well prepared, I mean, I know you're diabetic or have certain like autoimmune diseases that might make certain lethal or anything of that nature.
Well, my wife's a good example. She can't have an MRI.
Yeah.
And they may not know that. And if she's with somebody that doesn't know that, and they're like, oh, well, we have to do an MRI, they're like, yeah, that's great.
Well, but that's the situation. She's still well enough where she could travel on her own.
Yes.
And that's where the hard part is, about having some sort of universal medical record that they can tie to, a current ID. It's going to be hard to, get beyond it being a very complicated thing. Because the first thing they would have to do then, or anything, would be, again, find you or Caitlin or somebody who could be like, oh, she has all this wrong with her. Do not give her an MRI. Do not give her this. Do not give her that.
Yep.
If we
Well,
keep
it's
organ donor registry, surely a medical registry is the same type of thing. You look it up with your driver's license. It's a barcode. You scan it.
Well, and it's like everything you said. You talk organ donor. You talk, even outside of just regular organ donors, that there's bone marrow registry.
Yeah, I'm in
things
that
like
now.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in that now. I mean, in all honesty, your vaccination records, people can just look it up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you are. They can just look it up.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're carrying our COVID cards because,
we have to at this point.
Yeah, you have to.
You don't have to say when you got your last flu shot or when your most recent tetanus shot is, or
right.
Are you,
until you step on a rusty nail and you don't know.
Yeah.
Which is most people.
Yeah.
I don't know when my last tetanus shot was, but I know when my last COVID shots were. I know when my last 2 COVID shots were. Because I had one on September 30th of last year, and I had one on Monday.
And I know when my last tetanus shot was, because I literally only got it like 2 years ago, but before then it had probably been.
Yeah.
We were, a roof,
I
a family member not too long ago, and Aiden was up on the roof with his uncle and his brother-in-law and all that stuff, and stepped on a rusty nail on the roof, and I took him to the urgent care, and they're like, the last tetanus shot you had was this time, and we'll give you another one now.
I also believe, like in my adult life, I believe I got a tetanus shot when I was in the hospital after my first season. I was in Illinois.
Yep. And
then I believe I got another one 10 years later when I was in the hospital, not long after Mac was born. Like, usually that, and after that, it was probably the last tetanus shot until I got a couple years ago.
I will say, I hated your fucking seizure, your first one, because obviously I was there. But the only thing about your seizure I liked, I killed the bird with a lot of stones.
I was a little out of it.
No, you were totally fucking out of it. So Mike's totally out of it. He was out to lunch with a couple of coworkers, and he had a seizure. So they called the ambulance and they took him. And coworkers came back to the office and they're like, hey, we gotta go. He just had a seizure. And I'm like, oh shit. So we go to the hospital. We get there. My mom comes, we're figuring shit out. I call his mom, she's coming. And while Mike's there with his seizure, he has a really bad ingrown toenail. Like really bad.
Yeah, it had probably been infected pretty much the entire time I'd been in Illinois.
Yeah. So
I had gotten it fixed before I moved when I still had insurance.
yes. Doctor comes over and he's like, hey, this is really infected. Should we take care of it? And we're like, yeah, take care of it. And they go and ask him and he's out of it. He's like, yeah, take care of it. So they take care of it and he comes out and we're like, hey, how you feeling? We killed a bird with a lot of stones. I hate the fact that he had a seizure, but I still love that. That and the fact that you had a seizure because of the light.
Coming from behind the house.
That's
Which
correct.
again, we were young at the time, and nothing we would ever
We said
say
stupid
again.
shit. Yeah, we would not do that.
And again, not that we were ever anti, I guess at that point it would have just been the LGBT, probably just the LGBT community. At that point, I don't even know if he was part of the community at that point.
Oh, hang on. Nick, we got a call.
Oh,
Oh,
Due to the canceling of the National Student Loan Forbearance, we are reaching out once again from the Federal Student Loan Advocate. Because of the current situation,
the worst part about this is there's not a person.
the balance of your loans.
That sucks. I was hoping for a person.
I've been getting
Would've
that
been-
about
Especially if your first name would have been Ligma.
I get that too.
What was that, Nick?
So it would have been great if your first name would have been Ligma.
So I got a call yesterday. Yesterday? What's today? Wednesday? I got a call Monday while I was driving down to take my mom out to dinner. And the person goes, hey, we were calling because we want to help you navigate the healthcare insurance type stuff. And I'm like, great. I work for the health insurance company. And she goes, oh, thank you so much. We'll take you off the record.
Yeah.
My favorite is I've been getting a lot of these end of life things, right? Like your final expense stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm fucking 33 years old. I drank like a fish. I'm not gonna die.
They do something he doesn't.
Do they know something you don't?
That's like I'm just sitting here just going, huh? Like I'm not planning to die, but like if you guys are all about this, and they're
Maybe
like,
your
well,
wife
no,
and daughter are plotting.
I was working.
Listen,
at
that
this
part,
one
like,
time,
help make sure that your family doesn't have to pay for it. And I was like, my family and Derek's gonna pay for it with my fucking money. I was like, sure, I have to buy it. I have to buy an oversized casket because I'm fat as fuck, but like they're gonna be just okay.
Dude, just be like me and just get cremated.
Well, that's what we're gonna get cremated into trees. I gotta buy some land still.
Dude, I found a condo for us and you said no.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Come on, it's in the Bahamas.
Hey, have I ever told you guys this? All right, so we're taking a side trip on
Well,
this
like
one.
4
We should.
So
going in.
Courtney and I, we would like to give our bodies to science. Okay, that's the first and foremost thing, right?
They will want Courtney's body, but not yours.
Probably, right? So now if they
might
deny,
want the brain though, just to see what causes what's everything that goes on up there.
right? But okay, so in the end, they can deny you and stuff like that, but like they'll still let you get cremated. So now we're gonna get cremated, and we're gonna get cremated into trees.
Yeah.
And I'm getting cremated into a sour cherry tree, and Courtney's getting cremated into a sweet cherry tree because they pollinate each other. And so for eternity, for the rest of our effing life, we're just totally gonna just pollinate each other. I'm
What
so
if your
excited.
tree dies?
No, so that's why I need to buy this plot of land. Because like we were talking about doing it in the Granville house, but I was like, I can't guarantee that's going to be there. So I got to find this like really, really remote, like perfectly beautiful spot where
Dude,
it's never
Plainwell.
go
You
away.
want to, you can plant it at the house in Plainwell.
Well,
it's a kind of possibility to get sold. Caitlin, dude, if you die, Caitlin has no problem selling that place.
Caitlin's solely fucking selling that shit when I'm dead.
maybe he's
See,
gonna write it into his will that you can't sell it.
Oh no, she's totally selling that shit. I won't care. I'm dead.
But like that's what I want. Like I want to offer somebody, I don't know, like $100 a year just to make sure I stay alive and Courtney stays alive as a tree.
Well, I mean, we could write that into the sale, I'm sure.
Oh, 100%. Like, oh my God, I'm thinking about that. Like, so like what's it worth to I'll give you a free house as long as I
go
make
right
it
next to the pond.
50 fucking generations, right? Like, let's do this.
But I
I'm
think
so
it
excited.
went well because she's sweet and you're sour.
I mean, she's sweet and he's
Nope.
an asshole.
This is why we're doing this. Like we were sober when we talked about this. It was great.
Which means it only had 3 beers at the time.
Exactly. So
Or 4 or 5.
Or 4 or 5.
It depends on the beer. I mean, if he was drinking PBR, he had like 6 or 7.
You drank a third of the 99 pack.
From Wendy. Wendy, that didn't just make your heart melt?
Did that make your heart melt, Wendy? She's laughing at you.
She is.
We all make our own choices.
That was the sweetest thing I think anybody has ever said. And you didn't just go, "Aw, that's so sweet."
Nobody went, "Aw."
No.
I know, I'm kind of pissed at you guys.
It's because everybody loves your wife, but you were not really sure about.
Dude, and I even said she's the sweet cherry.
She
and
is.
You guys didn't. Oh, she's a sweet. Mike goes, "Yeah, you're sour and she's sweet." And I was like, "Yes, I get this." Like, say, "Oh, damn it."
Oh.
Aww.
See, there we go. Now we're talking. Nick and his wife are talking about dying. That's life.
Maybe that's why you're getting all the phone calls.
Maybe.
Because you actually did make a decision on your end of life plan.
Years ago. This was years ago we talked about this. Oh, hey, just so we can have this on record. I have a locked box in my bedroom. It's fireproof.
1, 2, 3 lockbox.
And there's a handwritten thing that tells everybody how to handle my estate. So,
I mean, it's at least Nick has something written down. I mean, I had a podcast with him, and I'm like, "Hey, when I die next week, take care of these people."
And I got you, no matter what.
I do.
We have wills, but they're like 15 years old, and they really need to be updated because they deal with things like custody of our children, who are both adults.
So you know a notary.
Wait, can I have custody of them?
No, they don't need custody, and they would not accept it.
All of you
Can
now
I-
know a notary. I need to bring some paperwork up for me to notarize.
Well, the problem is, I need to I need 2 notaries. Well,
You need 2 notaries because I can't notarize something I'm a
I need my
beneficiary
sister
of.
around.
Yeah.
So you can notarize the stuff because she was the one I basically put in for, certain things like if their mom is no longer in the picture and I die, then she's the one I'm giving the kids to and stuff like that. And a few others, like I made her medical power of attorney. I just made you financial power of attorney.
Gee, I wonder why.
You won't do stupid things with my money.
I definitely won't. So if anybody's in Grand Rapids and they're looking for a notary, this guy.
Or to the Kalamazoo County.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a notary in Kalamazoo County because that's where I live.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of things, we're trying to get a judge on that's running for a seat in Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll happen.
Not against the guy that I know.
No. I don't know the guy but you have
Maybe
to tell
he's
me.
not running. He may not be having to run.
He might not be up this year.
He may not be up this year.
I did look at all of the board members that are running for Plainwell, and there are at least 3 motherfuckers I am not voting for because
You know them.
I don't know them. But when I went to their fucking Facebook page, unmask our children. Fuck you.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Unmask our children, but how many actual schools? I mean, again, still not the people you want because they're also going to be the ones who are going to probably ban LGBTQIA plus books and
All kinds of books.
any be like, oh, you can't teach critical race theory to a 3rd grader, even though if it's truly critical race theory, you're not teaching it to anybody under college age.
Okay, as the sober person in the group, I'm going to circle back.
Please do.
I'll tell you about the third incident. My husband went to the doctor on Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday last week,
Mm-hmm.
for his annual checkup. He handed over his card because they asked for it at the counter, and they made a copy of it. And then the person at the desk tried to enter it into the computer to find his record so they could find out how he was covered. There's no group number. This is not your medical insurance card. This is a pharmacy card. This is the same card that the pharmacy told my son was not a pharmacy card. And he says, no, it has co-pays, deductibles written right on it. This is our medical insurance. And they're like, no, it's not. So he called
Well, I will
me.
tell you right now, having had Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts, there's no group number.
There
It's
is
called
no
like a
group
plan
number.
number. I remember that from my card.
And
nobody in Michigan understands that.
Yeah.
he called me and said, I need your card because this is apparently the wrong one. I said, no, it's not. It's the correct card. My card has all the same information on it except my name instead of yours. So he represented it, and the woman insisted it was not his medical insurance card and had to get someone else from the back office involved. And she's like, oh yeah, just put in their ID number and it'll pull up all the information.
My head hurts right now. I'm just saying it.
And it did, and he was completely covered because it was a preventative medicine visit.
Mm-hmm.
Then, when he came home, because the doctor requested a sleep study for him, this is the very first time that the doctor has requested a test for Jim, where they called him the same day to schedule it. They called him literally within a half an hour of his visit at the doctor's office. He scheduled his sleep study, which he did last night. And as part of our medical insurance, we have a flexible spending account that's associated with a credit card. So he gave them the credit card number over the phone and it was declined. And we actually had to get involved with the insurance company again, so they would pay for the sleep study because the credit card was declined.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been declined, and they accepted it later the same day.
I don't want to get off on a tangent because that's what we do, but I'm going to get off on a tangent here for a minute. Does Jim snore a lot?
Jim snores a lot.
A lot.
Jim occasionally stops breathing in his sleep.
Hey, sounds like me.
So,
not for long.
In 2000, when Dawn and I started dating, that summer, I didn't sleep well. And she would sit there and watch me lose breath over and over again, to the point where there were times I was driving that I just fell asleep while I was driving and hit shit because I didn't know any better. And luckily, at one point, she called the doctor and she goes, listen, he's going to die. He's probably going to kill someone. We need to help this dude. So they sent me a pulse ox.
Yeah.
And I wore it all night.
Mm-hmm.
And my pulse ox was like 80.
That's pretty low.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, he needs a BiPAP, and we're just going to prescribe one because we don't know what the hell else to do. Because at the time, I didn't have insurance, and they couldn't give me a sleep study because I had no money. So they just gave it to me. And for the first time ever, it felt like ever, I actually slept. And I was so excited. So Dawn and I talked about Mike quite a bit, and we're like, yeah, he's totally got sleep apnea because, if he slept here or when we were on the cruise, we're like, that dude loses his breath a lot. And I know what that's like. It's horrible. And Mike had a sleep study recently, a home one, which is different than what I ended up
was
going
pretty
through.
much almost the same.
Was
it?
it?
A little pulse oximeter on my finger, and
That's it.
that's all they had to do.
So
this had a band that went around his chest with the power unit right in the middle. It had a cannula that went over his ears and into his nose, and the pulse ox on his one finger.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Three. It was measuring three things.
And it could be what he may be having issues with was different, but mine literally, they just gave me the little thing, and it was literally just the pulse ox. Like I said, they could tell. Like they could tell based on fluctuations during the night. They're like, you had at least, 24 episodes
Yep.
of, stop breathing over
Well,
the
I would
course
say
of-
in like 2011 or 2012, I had a real sleep study done at Metro down the road,
Mhm.
not the hospital, but like the sleep lab next to it. And I had to have two. It was awful.
Mhm.
So the first one I had, they put the mask on me
Mhm.
and didn't give me any air.
I think 10 years ago, the difference
So-
was we were still kind of learning
Well, and I sat there.
all the science behind the CPAPs and the BiPAPs to the point where they needed to do that to
Figure it out.
confirm
Yeah.
what you needed.
So I remember telling Dawn, she's like, "So how did it go?" I'm like, "I didn't sleep at all. I felt like I was drowning all night. I'm never fucking doing that again." And I waited like 2 months to do the follow up, which they actually gave me air, so that then they could finally figure out what settings I needed.
Mhm.
But it was awful.
I'm given to understand that what Jim did last night is
It's much better now than it used to be.
Was that Biden? First time it literally was just a little thing on my finger, and yeah, I didn't have to put anything on
Well, and
my head or my chest or
you've asked me several times, what should I feel? What should this be like? Especially when you were sick, you're like,
when I was sick, it was more like
should I be able to breathe? And I'm like, yeah, if you're congested, you're not going to breathe. Wearing it sucks.
that's where I would wear it long enough to basically cover, because I'm in that first
Yeah.
90 days where I have to have like 30 straight days of a certain amount of use per night in order for insurance to pay for it.
oh. And there's like a meter on it or something, so they
Yes.
know
Yeah,
how
they
much you're using
They
it.
could, I mean, when I turn it off, it'll actually say I've been wearing it for 7 hours or whatever, and it'll give me like smiley faces. The thing, I have the one that is just one grade lower than the one, or one version lower than the one that actually you can Wi-Fi, and so it'll actually like do daily reports to like your doctor and stuff like that. But a lot with that is it's the chips and stuff that they would use to make those
Mhm.
aren't available, which is surprising. There's a shortage of a lot
It's
of
really
stuff
hard
right
to get
now.
those kind of things right now.
Yeah. They're like, well, you can wait 3 to 6 months, or we could give you this one for right now. And I'm like, well, just give me that one for right now, so at least
Mhm.
have some. Because yeah, I mean, when I'm reading like the fact that like sleep apnea causes like increased, potentials for like heart attacks and
Right.
strokes and stuff
And that's
like
why
that.
the doctor ordered it, because right now that is the greatest risk to Jim's cardiac health is
Mhm.
his breathing issues, especially. He has perpetual postnasal drip
Okay. Yeah.
caused by his parents smoking when he was
Okay.
his entire childhood. My dad has late onset asthma because of his parents smoking. His dad has not reached the point yet where he's been ordered a sleep study, but my mom is advocating for one because he has the same issue.
I have allergies, and allergies induced to asthma. But I mean, I'm sure part of his issues too were the fact that he lived in a household where three
They
people
smoke
in that
constantly?
household smoke constantly.
Jim and I have had that talk.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, I guess, is the best way to put it, because I didn't do anything
No.
and I couldn't breathe for 24 years.
Well, the funny part is I was never around a lot of smokers and like smoky houses until I actually started hanging out with him.
What'd you have done that you couldn't breathe for 24 years? What fixed?
I moved out of my mother's house.
Oh no, so I can't breathe and I don't smoke. So
A lot of it
Yeah,
ends up being, unfortunately, and I think all three of us can attest to it. It's in times it's weight related.
A lot of
Wow.
that.
oh God, yes. Like 100%. I'm not gonna lie about that. But like I have some friends that have been having some rhinoplasty surgery because like, and I do think that my nasal passages are weaker than most people's, and so like they get them cleaned out and filled out and stuff like that, or whatever the heck they do. Because really for years of my life, I can't smell, right? Like
Mhm.
I have a sense of what things are, but like when somebody walks into, and maybe it's because like I go into like the worst of the worst rancid houses, but like when I walk into a place that's got like some bad odor, I'm just like, this is normal to me, right? I walk into a house that's completely disgusting, and people are like, I can't even do it, and I'm like, man, up, this is nothing, right? Like,
Yeah. I'm like you though, Nick. I mean, and for me, I think it was pretty much after I started working where I work, and I think the allergies to the animals really kind of put me over the edge. Because yes, I'm the same way. Like when I can actually smell something that smells bad, my thought too is I feel really bad for the people who have normal senses of smell because it must smell horrible.
Yeah.
all the time. The other day, I smelt my food, right? Because like, there's like times where I'll get to like smell things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that smells amazing, and it's because it's like the first time ever like I've smelled something. Like I'm the guy who tells other guys, hey, your cologne smells great because like finally I can smell it, right? And like if you asked me, I would say 1 of 1,000 men wear cologne, right? Like, and because I never run into this thing, like I'm like, oh man, like that smells good. And my wife would be like, oh, smell this. And I'm like, I got nothing, right?
I
Like,
think it's
yeah,
worn cologne since I was maybe in my 20s. Trying to like when I'd go on dates would be about the only time
I still wear cologne, but only if I'm trying to impress people.
oh, I still
I
wear
mean, I'll
cologne
throw
all the
the
time.
Axe body spray out after a long
A
day
troop?
of trooping. Yeah.
So, all right, I want to get back into like, okay, all right, so
I mean,
you
it
guys have
was health
kind of
related, so it kind of almost boils down to it.
you've mentioned a universal
Medical record.
He's as loud as he can be.
Unless we
health
put it through
record
that.
assessment, right? Is what you're saying? What else would you like to see from this healthcare administration to make things so much better, right? Because to me, I don't like I hate seeing the fact of it depends on what you're insured for and how much money you have, if you can get certain procedures, if you can get certain things. For
And I
example,
agree with that. I think there needs to be like there can't be like a I've got X insurance at X rate, and so my copay for my prescriptions is only maybe $10 for up to $10 for a generic. Some generics are less than 10, then like $20 for like the name brand, and then like another one is you don't it's like 15 and 30 or 50. I've even had ones where it was like 3 tier. It was generic was like 5, 15 was for what the insurance covers in terms of the name brands, and then anything else that wasn't that was like 30 or 40.
We have 5 tier.
Or you do.
Okay. Several years ago, Jim had some kind of episode. It was later determined not to have necessarily been a stroke, but nobody's really quite sure.
I
Okay.
remember that. I remember running into him. This was the Griffins game right before COVID like shut down everything.
And that's
And
when it
he's
happened.
like,
I don't remember this because I wasn't there.
and he literally came in. I'm like, well, how you been doing? I'm like, well, I'm doing a lot better now that I'm out of the hospital, and I'm like, and I like immediately like text Don. I'm like, why didn't you tell me Jim had been in the hospital? They're like, we didn't know Jim had been in the hospital.
We were going to the high school for a concert just in like the week before everything shut down for COVID. And he had been on the phone with the airline trying to rearrange our vacation tickets, which never happened.
COVID.
Yeah, because they had rebooked us so many times that we were not even going on the right day. So it didn't even match our hotel anymore. And
Sounds like your
he was
issues last year.
very, very angry.
Yeah.
And he got off the phone and made another call and sounded incoherent, like slurring words.
Oh, yeah.
And he had not had anything alcoholic to drink that day. And he like walked down the kitchen to go to the bathroom in a like he was drunk, like weaving back and forth, and ran into the wall at one point. He came out of the bathroom, and my daughter and I were like, something's wrong. And at first he like completely denied it. He's like, we can't miss this concert. There's nothing wrong with me. And it wasn't until after we got back from the concert that he actually realized that something was wrong. But he didn't want to spend the night at urgent care of the hospital. So we went to bed. He promised that he would go the next day. The next day, he gets done with some meetings, and I took him to urgent care. And they're like, no, you need to go to the hospital. So we went to the hospital. We went downtown to Butterworth, and they gave him a room in the emergency room and ran a couple of tests. It was very crowded. We didn't know that COVID was coming, but clearly there were people sick with it in the emergency room. And there were a lot of people in there who clearly did not have insurance because they'd been parked in the hallway. We had insurance, so they gave him a room, private room. We're in and out, taking him to this test and that test. And finally, the ER doctor in charge for the evening came in and said, we're going to move you to Blodgett. Your insurance will cover the ambulance ride. This will all be part of the same visit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whoa, halt. How do you know that?
They don't.
They don't know that.
No, they have no idea.
They have no idea. And if we had gone to Blodgett like they wanted to in the ambulance, God
Probably
knows,
not covered.
God knows what would have happened.
Probably
But
not
it wouldn't
covered.
have been covered. They would have run all the same tests over again and still not had a conclusion.
Well, that's so weird because I always thought Butterworth was like considered the like
Best hospital.
best hospital
They
in the
were
area.
busy. And
And
they
yes, yeah.
and he had insurance and they wanted somebody who could pay for it to move him
Yep.
over to the other
Like I
building.
said, I can see like, if you're going to like, like I think of, the southern Michigan, you've got all like the Ascension related. And yeah,
Which are horrible.
yes, and I would agree. But like if you're in like Pip and Plainwell and Pip can't in their ER, they can't do anything. But yes, a hospital ER or not an ER, an ambulance from there to
A transfer to
the
a
main
larger
Borges
hospital with
facility
more
should be
facilities.
part of the same business.
Yes.
Because of the fact you're in the same
I will say,
group.
before Borges sold to Ascension, good hospital. My mother worked there for like 14 years. Great staff, great doctors, great nurses. And then, they became Ascension, which is way more corporate.
And I always liked going to Borges.
Yeah.
15, 20
Back in the
years ago.
day.
Yeah. And now I will
And now
go to
Bronson is the only place you go because they're not nearly as corporate.
But yeah, an individual doctor, regardless of their experience level, does not know what the insurance
No, they have
will
no
or will not
idea.
pay for, and they have no right saying something like that to a patient. And Jim was so mad at that point. We'd been there for 4 hours already. He was like, I'll just go to my own doctor. I'll go to my own doctor. And finally, she made him sign that he was discharging himself against orders and all that. Tests that the doctor ran were inconclusive.
Which usually happens.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even Dawn's stroke, they can't classify it as a stroke because they couldn't do an MRI.
Yeah.
She had a fucking stroke. She couldn't talk for 3 days. And after 3 days, she could talk, but not well. It's ridiculous the hoops we have to jump through in this country. And again, we can go through if you have universal health care, it takes so long to get in to see a doctor. Fuck, it takes me a long time to get in to see a doctor right fucking now, and we don't.
No.
We are a for-profit system. You can say you're nonprofit all you want, but we are in a for-profit system, and it takes forever to get in to see a doctor that can actually do anything for you. We were talking about this the other day, and Wendy and Mike know this really well. So when I was dying last year, I say that people get pissed about the way I say it, but I don't care. When I was dying last year,
you were pretty much on the verge of death.
every time I went to the ER, they'd go, just take some Tylenol. You'll be fine. And I'd go home and I'd take some Tylenol and I wouldn't be fine. I'd take 4,000 milligrams and I would not be fine. And my PA would call me and my wife would tell me, you have to go back to the ER. You're going to die. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm not going because they don't do anything. They don't give a shit that I'm there. All they do is say, take Tylenol and they send me the fuck home. I might as well just stay home. And in all honesty, I should have fucking died because They didn't give a shit.
Mhm.
Their job is to get you in and out as quickly as possible. So they look for the easiest answer. Hey, you have a fever. Take some Tylenol, make the fever go away. You can go home. Okay.
But, yeah, unfortunately, but again, you would think the two, when you're in the ER, there are two, well, I guess you could say three exits. There's death, there's getting released back home, or there's actually getting admitted into the hospital.
Yeah.
So to me, it would be like if they're still like, we don't know what to do with you, but you're still coming back. You would think after like the third trip, it would be okay. We're going to admit you because whatever we're telling you to do to send you home is not working.
And the decision to admit you is dependent on A, whether there's a bed, and
Yes.
B, whether there's a bed in the ward that they think you need,
Yeah.
whether that's the ward you need or not.
Mhm.
Well, and you know, you go to a lot of the people that go to the ER are just drug seeking. Okay. Maybe 25, 30%, but you can't say the majority of people. I got accused of that several times.
But even then, there's where a universal medical record helps.
Yes,
Yep.
it would.
Because if you're truly a drug seeker,
It'll
you will
on
be
your
there,
record.
and it doesn't matter if you go to Blodgett or Butterworth or Ascension Borges or Bronson. It'll be right there that this person goes to the ER every 3 days in search of drugs.
It'll
Yep.
show all
They
the
would look at your
prescriptions
record
on
and be
your
like, huh, he has never gone to the ER in search of drugs. Maybe he has something more wrong with him.
Even now, I don't like drugs.
Mhm.
I only take them when I have to.
Mhm.
And my wife will say to me, hey, if you take your anxiety medication, because you've really been wired up the last few days. I take it every fucking night. I take it every night with my sleeping medication, because otherwise I don't fucking sleep. And at least if I take it, I can sleep for 5 hours. And
they're
5 hours
making-
is better than none.
Mhm.
Oh,
What,
dude,
Nick?
I sleep 5 hours. I didn't know they made anxiety medication.
They're mostly
You know,
the same as the antidepressant.
my wife used to get so mad because when I worked at Gentex, right, the doctor was a pill prescriber, right?
Oh.
Like, which to me was better than the doctor that I had before that. So, you know, I'm a man's man in theory. I try to be, right. Like I try to open up to my wife and tell her I'm hurting, but I don't do anything about it. When it's actually hurting, I officially go seek some help. So, here it is years ago. My back is killing me. I am like, whatever, I'll work through it. She's like, hey, go see a doctor. So I go see the doctor, right? The doctor goes, man, lose some weight, you fat fuck. You'll be all right. Cool. Done deal.
It's always the answer,
Yeah.
mind you.
So, right, like I'm
Well,
working out a little
maybe
bit.
I've been always the anti-male in that part, because like, I mean, I won't go to the hospital because I have a cough that's lasted like 48 hours. But if I'm like just really miserable and I'll be like, I really need to see if I've got strep or bronchitis or pneumonia or something, it doesn't take me, and even before I had kids, and now it's like really like if something's going wrong, I mean,
Yeah.
there are certain things I'm ignoring, but they're not life and death ignoring. Like I don't want to have a hearing aid before I'm 50. I have a hearing aid right now, yes, but I
Oh,
really
God,
would like to wait till I'm 50 to have a hearing aid.
I
Same.
probably too, right? Like my hearing is fucking horrible. And then the other thing is, okay, so I'm working, and all of a sudden I was moving, 3 boxes of mirrors, and my back I didn't realize it was called a spasm, right?
Mhm.
So all of a sudden I have this spasm in my back. I fall to the ground. I have tears in my eyes, right? Like, again, being kind of more of the man's man aspect, like the guys on my team were like, bro, something's really fucked up with you. Go get it checked out. So I go to the Gentex doctor, who is, yeah, you know what? Here's some Norco. Here's some methocarbamol. Here's some tramadol. Here's this. Oh, you drive a high-low for a living? You're a badass. Look, take this 8 hours before your shift, and it'll be out of your system before then. And I'm like, I don't care if it's out of my system. You're the one that prescribed it. I'm fucking going. Yeah, like send it, right?
Well, I mean, I think part of the reason why your son's issues were covered by workman's comp is probably because we have this supposed to wear safety glasses,
Oh, sure.
but
and-
doesn't.
And if he had filed a workman's claim, I'm sure they would have covered it, but, it was on a weekend.
Mhm.
When
Yeah.
he realized it was uncomfortable, he's watched other people at work try to deal with the workman situation.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, it's hard.
he can't prove it happened at work because he does work on cars at home, so he just
Mhm. Yeah.
regular insurance. But regarding back pain and doctors just knee-jerk reaction to prescribe painkillers,
Mhm.
I'll
it's
take it.
not solving the problem.
No. It just masks it.
It masks it for
No.
long enough for you to get through a day, and then
Yep.
the next day you have the same problem. And
Unfortunately, yes, a lot of
I want to
medicine,
about
at least in the United States, is symptom removal, not disease diagnosis,
Mhm.
which is too bad because
I
if
get
you actually spent the time to diagnose it. Because I know there's probably
no.
a couple dozen people I know who have had or are still fighting with Lyme disease. Same thing. Nobody
yeah.
will sit there and do the testing to be like, oh, it's Lyme disease. It'll be like, oh, you have a fever, take this. Oh, you've got some body aches, take this. Oh, you've got that, take this.
Well, and even if it's Lyme disease, half the time they don't cover it.
Yes.
Right? Everybody has to get their dollars.
It's like, you know, they don't
You-
want to
you-
offer, the test that would prove it's Lyme disease the
Yeah.
first time around.
Correct.
At time 7, sure, they'll do the test to prove it's Lyme disease. But
What were you saying, Nick?
No, sorry, Mike. Like right when you look at it, it's like, all right, so I am a big guy, right? And that would cause things. But when you look at my situation, okay, so the doctor gives me prescriptions. Honestly, I don't like prescriptions. I don't like who I am on pain medication because
Same.
and I don't like who I am right now in my life, and I'm trying to fix that. Like, how can I get happy pills? But back then, like I was the happy-go-lucky guy. Like, let's just do this, and then I take pain, and so I'm on antacids, right? Like a really high-end one. So now I'm eating like a king. I've gained probably 100 pounds. I'm not lying to you guys, 100 fucking pounds since I've controlled some of my acid reflux. But so go forward, right?
was it
All
ever
of a
acid reflux to begin with, like what we're dealing with Mikey right now?
So go forward, and they're like, all right, cool, we're gonna send you to physical therapy. And I was like, physical therapy for my back, cool. So they charge me $350 with my insurance for however many things. And oh, the good news is I was out in Holland, right? So they're like, hey, this guy has done all of the Red Wings stuff. He's the greatest PT that's out there, blah blah. Fine. Hey, asshole, I'm still fucking hurting, okay? Like, and then all of a sudden he's like, all right, you've done your 6 to 8 visits, whatever I did. You need to go and get an MRI and a CT and this and that. Come to find out, 6 of my nerves in my lower back are pinched or crushed, right? Some of them are touching, some of them are actually crushed, some of them are like literally pinched, like full force. And so then I go back to the doctor and I was like, here's my results. All right, well, here's your next step. You can have surgery or you can just man up. And if you man up for, as long as you can and then have surgery. Okay, I'll man up. Like, and so this whole time, so now throughout this course, I've spent out of my pocket, I don't care, let's call it $2,000, right? Which is very minimal compared to the $30,000 that the insurance company has paid for. And I'm saying, like, again, being that guy who my wife has a bigger pain tolerance than me. I'm fully aware of this, right? But again, if you can look at my medical history and realize, you know what, this asshole doesn't come in for like anything ever. When he does come in, it's actually something serious. Just understand that, like, there's still people out there, and I agree with you guys when it comes to the fact of like, hey, he doesn't come in to get prescriptions every 2 minutes, right? He's here to heal himself, get back to work, do his life, right? If you're
Well, you know,
habitual,
like Mike's known me for almost 30 years. You've known me since probably 2008-ish. Wendy's
wait.
known me for like the last 6, 7 years.
2000, probably 2005, 2004.
Either
I
way,
was, yeah.
But still,
but
you're looking at. I've known you for a long time. He's
Yeah.
known you for about half the time,
and Wendy's known me a little bit
Oh,
less.
yeah, about half of what
I
Nikki's
don't
known
go
you.
to the doctor if I don't need to. I never go to the ER. If I'm going, there's something wrong.
Mhm.
And then I show up, and they're like, well, you're just drug seeking,
Yeah, and that's the
which is
problem.
bullshit.
And I don't go to the ER for
No,
in my adult life. The only ER trips I've had have been after my seizures.
Yeah.
In my adult life.
Well, and I think the issue is I got into the doctor before the drug seeking thing was a big thing, and then all of a sudden you go and it's this huge pandemic thing.
I don't really know. I mean, your entire adult life has probably been spent in the period of time when drug seeking was like the thing they think about, because that was like something that came up on like the TV show Scrubs, and that was from like the early 2000s.
I've never been accused of being drug seeking, and in fact, my two visits to the ER, they tried to prescribe me things for pain, and I refused to take them. In fact, refused to take the prescription at all, not just get it filled. But when I went to the ER I want to say it was probably about 2009 or 10, with severe back pain. You all have not known me without severe back pain. I live at a 7. And back then it was maybe a 6 or a 7, but it was at the beginning of the problems. And I have 3 degenerated discs in my lower back. So I have vertebrae rubbing on nerves and other vertebrae. There's supposed to be cartilage there that's not.
Yeah.
And the first time when I went to the emergency room for the problem, they took an x-ray, could not see any problem, and sent me home with Vicodin. I took 1. I hallucinated for 48 hours after taking 1, was so miserable in my own skin from taking the medication that I refused to take it. And they prescribed, or didn't prescribe, but I insisted on physical therapy, which worked for a few months. I kept up with the exercises my whole life, but there comes a point where it doesn't do any good anymore. I have vertebrae rubbing on vertebrae. I am always in pain. I don't go to the hospital anymore.
What year in college? Sophomore or junior, maybe even my senior year at that point. And I had gone in, and at a point it was like I had sprained my ankle really, really, really bad. A pickup game that I literally like could not walk. And I went into the clinic at the college, and it was again one of those times when I had fairly infected ingrown toenail. So they're like, okay.
you did have issues with that a lot.
I did, until they pulled out my toenail.
Yeah.
And then they were basically like, okay, we're going to give you this antibiotic because you have this infection, and because you not only have ankle pain, but also it'll just help with the fact that we've basically about half your toenail. We're going to give you, and I don't remember, but even again. And again, it was similar to you. I took 1, and I was like, just crazy.
The small amount of pain relief that I got from it was not worth it.
That and I'm the same way. Like, if they're like, we'll take something, I mean, like I said, I may take 1,000 milligrams of ibuprofen or 1,000 milligrams of Tylenol, and I mean, I know Vicodin is just basically Tylenol and the Nortephan or whatever it is, the
codeine or whatever.
Or the codeine, yeah, whatever. But it's something, and I'm like, nope. I'm like, I'll take. Like, one time, was I friends with you when I had smashed my finger into like the trunk of my Escort, and it was like hanging? I guess it was. I think I was living with Mikey still at the time.
I think so.
Like, it was my pinky finger, and basically the bed of my pinky nail was actually out, but the rest of it was attached. I was in so much pain, but one day I'm literally just like, I went in and they're like, there's really nothing we can do about it until it basically falls off on its own. I basically took 1,000 milligrams of Tylenol and 1,000 milligrams of ibuprofen, and I went.
Yep. I remember us.
But I guarantee you, a day and a half later, it felt perfectly fine because it started actually healing where the nerve ends were damaged.
You know, it's funny because I remember being in my early 20s
Mm-hmm.
and we would do dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to tell this story. We had a friend named Ken.
We did have a friend named
He
Ken.
was a fucking idiot. And at one point, Mike was at work
Mr.
and
Dan.
Miss
Throw him to the G-Funk. I like seeing him in the G-Funk.
he goes, all right, I'm gonna take a tangent here for a minute. He goes, I love that song, Mr. Dan. And Mike and I are like, what the fuck are you talking about? He goes, yeah, they sing it. It's about Mr. Dan and he plays a tambourine.
It's Mr. Tambourine Man.
And we go, Mr. Tambourine Man from Bob Dylan. The Birds sing it, and he's like, gotta love it, Mr. Dan. I thought Simon and the G-Funk sang it. Simon and the G-Funk? Simon and Garfunkel.
Garfunkel.
I don't mind. There's actually a guy that I don't work closely with him,
Okay.
but his name is first name is Chris, his last name is Papagiannis.
Okay.
I never call it to him to his face, but behind his back he see Papa G.
I thought you were going to say it was Papa Giorgio.
No,
Either
he see Papa G.
So-
from YouTube, baby.
Actually, I could probably call that to him to his face. He'd probably think it's
He probably would. So
Was
Ken,
that Dawn?
no, that was Wendy.
Oh, bye, Wendy.
She had to go inside.
Yeah.
So Ken had grabbed Mikey by the neck
I wrestled him.
and he goes, I'm going to give you a swirly.
Yeah.
And he dragged him to the bathroom.
I wasn't there at that exact
It
moment.
was
in
not.
time.
Mike was still at work, and he basically rammed Mikey's neck and shoulder area into the door jam.
I mean, I must have only gotten home like 5 minutes later.
It was not long. And Mikey fell like a heap. And he goes, oh my God, I can't move. And we're like, uh-oh. And now Ken's worried because, of course, he's paralyzed this guy. And I called my mother. And my mom was on her way over because she's a nurse and, you know, she can help the situation, right?
Mhm.
And before she gets there, Mike walks in. He goes, what the fuck is going on? And we're like, Mikey's dead in the door to the bathroom. And
I mean, he was talking and stuff.
he was. But he
Probably,
was,
probably actually moving his arms and stuff too.
he probably was. And Mike goes, well, you better move his ass because I got to take a shit.
I did.
And then Mikey goes, oh my God, no, don't let him do that.
Again, if he's moving his arms, he's probably not dead.
He was
Paralyzed.
he was definitely not dead.
He was not paralyzed.
And the fact that you had to go do that made him move faster than he probably should have.
Wasn't paralyzed.
He definitely was not paralyzed. By the way, you walked away and Nick goes, "Is Dawn there?" He saw your shirt,
Break room.
break room shirt. But
Did you not see Nick's message?
I have not.
Sorry, boys, my beers and medication are not.
I saw that one.
Apparently, I'm about to sleep. LOL.
Nick's going to sleep.
Night, night, night.
I'm in.
I mean, you can go to sleep. We're gonna keep talking.
Boys, say I started hitting my my big beers.
Yeah.
And, not the smartest thing to do when you're on Dayquil, NyQuil, Sudafed, all the above, trying
Yeah,
to get
that
your
would
throat.
pretty much mess you up, and that would go with like oh yeah, Mother Schmuckers. Like I said, either the Norco or the, you know,
That's a thing. At least you don't have to drive home.
there you go.
Here's an
Stayed here.
interesting tidbit.
Yes.
All those things that Nick is taking, Sudafed, Dayquil, NyQuil,
All of the
much
same
any
basic
of
stuff
those.
in them.
The things that you can make meth out of, apparently.
Yeah.
They also all have genetically engineered beet sugar in them, in the coating or in the medication themselves. So if I get a cold, too bad.
You can't take any of that.
You're allergic to beets?
No, I'm it's not an allergy, but a sensitivity toward anything that's genetically engineered for pesticides.
Dawn is the same
So-
way. It's not like anything genetically modified.
All about
Yeah.
medication.
Sounds like if you get a cold, all you need to do is listen to MLVC. No genetically modified things from them. Straight up just beets.
You love MLBC.
Those guys are great.
They're
You know, the worst part is we're not on Twitch, so I don't know how long we've been doing this, but we talked about a lot of things that piss us off with medical.
Yeah.
Is anything we deal with medical wise good?
Yes.
Okay, what?
So we have the #1 ranked healthcare system in the world when it comes to abilities to heal and cure people. Right? So we offer specialists in
Where do you get those rankings from?
US medical research things. No, I'm just kidding. But we have the highest and best doctors. We have, but we're also paying millions of dollars for that person. We're paying millions of dollars for research. There's third world countries that don't even have the flu shot unless it was for people like Bill Gates.
Okay. Third world countries, yes. But again, let's go back to what are the most deadly diseases in your lifetime?
Peanut butter disease. Yep. So apparently people are allergic to peanut butter.
They are, but I would not say that's one of the most deadly diseases.
So all I would say right now is COVID in my lifetime.
COVID.
I mean,
there's one more. You were born when it was in the midst of it.
I would say chickenpox. I don't know if that was as deadly as what I think it was.
AIDS.
Oh, but
yes. So AIDS, yeah, for sure.
Okay, Wendy has something to say. Hang on, go, Wendy.
AIDS did not affect. I mean, as much media as it got. Yes, it had a lot of media coverage, but the percentage of the population that it affected was not very much.
True. But when you look at, let's say, because Nick is young and we don't care. You and I are old and we do.
And you're not as old as I am.
I'm not.
Too.
But what big diseases have you lived through? Wouldn't it be AIDS and COVID?
The bird flu, the swine flu, AIDS.
Swine flu, my ass. Fuck you.
These were all things.
Swine flu was bad, but I mean, it was bad for like a season.
I even got vaccinated for polio. I'm that old.
You are old.
Maybe I was. I don't know. Probably not.
Pull up your sleeve.
All of the things that have been since mostly eradicated.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember I was, a teenager during the AIDS crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I heard kind of what you said, and I would say yes. In terms of the really big ones, it would be AIDS and COVID, because I mean, yeah, SARS came through, and
you had that. You had swine flu. Yeah,
but again, it was never.
It was a short period.
Yeah, it was never the pandemic the way COVID was.
Not only COVID, but also AIDS. AIDS was a yearly thing. We're like, oh my God, what's happening?
AIDS was, I mean, that lasted for they're part of 2 decades. Yeah.
Well, and I know, so I'm going to say this. because
Magic Johnson.
And it's not like AIDS is gone. It's more
It's
just
not.
understood enough where,
well, and
Mostly treatable now.
yes.
you know, I'm one of those guys that I fucking hate Reagan, and I know Jim loves Reagan
He doesn't love Reagan.
way more than I do. I fucking hate Reagan, and Nick went away. So Reagan was one of those people that he's like, that's a gay disease. We don't care. Whereas I don't see any disease as a certain type of fucking disease because we already know it's not. Diseases don't discriminate on who you want to bang
Well,
or what
AIDS
color
hit
you
healthcare
are.
workers harder than it hit the
It did.
gay community.
Well, even that, I mean, it boils down to the pollen.
It does.
And it was boiled down to once it was identified as a sexually transmitted disease, it was we could blame it on the gays and promiscuous people in general,
Yes.
whether it's, even like, people doing prostitution, whether it's heterosexual or homosexual or drug use, until it started
yeah.
being like part of like people getting it from blood trans. That's what it finally was like, oh my God, we need to really do something about it, was when I think it was that young kid, I think his first name was like Will or something like that. It was like the first one identified as having got it through a blood transfusion. Like, oh my God, we need to do something about this, because it was finally like, it could affect somebody who hasn't done anything wrong in their entire life.
Yes.
And again, gay people have done anything wrong. Like I said,
not
people who are
having
doing it for
engaged
like
in those behaviors.
sharing, like I said, sharing needles, you could be like, okay, well, they were drug users,
Well, and I remember the first like not gay person that got it through a blood transfusion. Maybe not first, but the most famous was Arthur Ashe.
Yes.
Magic Johnson.
No, it was
He got-
Arthur Ashe.
Magic Johnson got it through sex.
He did. Arthur Ashe had a blood transfusion and was HIV positive and died from it.
He died from it. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why they renamed the stadium at where they do the US Open.
Was it
Stadium.
Rolling Meadows?
I don't remember what it was.
It might have been.
I always remember Roland Garros for the French Open, but I don't remember what. But yeah, I mean, there's the city or whatever, or the thing, but the actual like main
I'm looking it up because I have to
stadium
know.
where they do the like finals and stuff is Arthur Ashe Stadium. It might be Rolling Meadows.
Sorry, I got another phone call. Every time I get a phone call,
Flushing Meadows.
Flushing Meadows.
It was Flushing Meadows Stadium.
You were just merging Roland Garros and Flushing Meadows.
And Arthur Ashe died in 1993.
Yeah, because he was one. Yeah, because Magic Johnson admitted he got it because he had like hundreds
unprotected
of
sex. Yes, which
with a dude, and I was
not have it with a dude. He had it with women.
No, not with women. Like, it was multiple women. One of them was a dude.
No, it was not.
No.
Can you prove it?
Freddie got it with a dude.
Liberace
got it with a dude. Magic Johnson got it with girls.
Yep, and so did what's the singer of Queen?
Freddie Mercury. We just said that he got it from a dude.
Can you prove it?
He admitted to being gay pretty much once.
So best front man you never got to see.
Best front man I never got to see.
You never got to see.
Right.
In terms of them not being alive for me to see them.
Correct.
I mean, yes, it would be Freddie Mercury in a heartbeat.
I would agree.
I would actually put him above John Lennon.
I knew you were gonna say that. So love John Lennon.
Well, but again, it would boil down to the Beatles were never about the flair of their concerts.
Correct.
Whereas like Queen
was always about
an
the concert.
experience.
Yeah. So
Bon Jovi and stuff like that is an experience.
Beatles were more about what they could do in the studio to make things awesome. And
or just writing stuff that actually had meaning to it.
And mind you, because we are great friends, I'm a McCartney guy.
I'm a John Lennon guy.
You are a John Lennon guy.
But again, that's something you can disagree on, and it's okay.
It's okay to disagree on who is the best Beatle.
We can
Oh.
disagree with the people who like IPAs, and we're not going to
Let me-
hate the people who like
No.
IPAs.
Okay,
No.
let's go to that for just a minute, Mike. Who's the worst Beatle?
Lives, boys.
I'd still put Ringo.
Ringo is the worst Beatle. And Ringo's good. Nothing wrong with him.
No, he's just.
But George is way
when
better
you're
than
looking-
Ringo.
When you're looking at
Stop.
astronomical,
Stop my ass.
and really good.
For me, it's McCartney, Lennon, George, Ringo. For him, it's Lennon, McCartney, George, and Ringo.
But if you're going to put it on like
So congrats. The
Let's say,
Beatles have always been the Beatles.
talking about
Yeah.
George,
No.
you're talking about Paul and Don being at the top two rungs.
Yeah, they're basically 1 and 2.
You're looking
And then
at
George is like 4 down.
he's like 6 or 7, and then
And Ringo's like
at
3 or 4
15.
later.
Yeah, Ringo's at like 12.
Wasn't
Yeah.
it Lennon that
So-
said that Ringo wasn't even the best drummer in the Beatles?
Well, I mean, Pete Boucher was the first drummer in the Beatles.
What's new? There's a game we play sometimes with.
Can we-
It's a
Can we
card
have
game
a
we play at the Scouts. It's called Mao, and it's basically you don't talk about the rules of Mao. That's the first rule of Mao, and the second rule of Mao is it's kind of like Uno. But basically, there's these rules, and I won't say which one it is, but at one point you name a Beatle. At that point, yes, you could say Pete Best, you could say Stu Sutcliffe, you could, officially they were all Beatles. Sure, they were only all Beatles for like
Who was
a month.
the? My God, I'm drawing a blank. Who was the 5th Beatle?
Sutcliffe,
No.
Stuart
Nick
Sutcliffe.
Watkins.
Oh my God, I can't remember him.
Remember who that?
Billy Preston.
Billy Preston.
Why do we have a dog here?
What's
Doggy, go home.
that? Pomeranian?
It is. I have never seen that dog before. Go home, doggy.
Holmes is
That's
right. Like when you're fighting over who's the better
Goodness.
Beatle, we all know that there's 4 Beatles. No matter what happens in life, there's 4 Beatles.
Lennon said that.
Oh,
Oh,
Van Halen, though, right? Like
no.
You-
Not Van Halen. Van
Hagar.
Hagar.
say exactly. You're a Van Halen fan,
Van Hagar.
you a Lee Roth fan, right? Like
as me.
Ask me, we're on the podcast. You want to talk? Oh, she left. Van
Who is it?
Hagar, way better than Van
Way
Halen.
better than Van Halen.
see exactly.
So,
Well,
People-
let's
hang
start with the
on.
songs.
We can bring somebody in that has a little more history than we do. Wendy, Van Halen, or
With
Van
David Lee
Hagar.
Roth. So basically,
I'm not
David Lee
familiar with
Roth or Sammy Hagar.
She doesn't care about either one.
Wendy. Okay,
Yeah.
the Beatles. Can you name them? How many people are in the Beatles?
Well, 4.
Exactly. That's all anybody will know. That's all anybody will care. Now, when you talk about Van Halen, it's different people. Okay, you don't get this. So don't sit here and be like,
we
"Oh,
can
the
talk
Beatles."
about Van Halen and the fact that Gary
No.
Cherone was the lead singer,
No,
or that Wolfgang von Beethoven or whatever Van Halen was a fucking bassist because they kicked Michael Anthony out.
That isn't a big deal. I mean, that's Eddie's son.
It is, but still, who cares?
Me?
You don't care?
That what I am more excited about than Gary Cherone from Escape.
Gary Cherone sucks.
So would it be
But-
interesting if Eddie Smythe had actually
Oh
joined
my
Van
God, that
Halen
would've been
instead of
awesome.
Sammy Hagar.
So,
Right.
mind you, we are the only people here that know about that. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So, Patti Smythe was the
Scandal.
lead singer of Scandal.
Okay.
She married John McEnroe.
Well, I mean, later. He was
And
at the time he's talking about. He was still married to Tatum O'Neal.
yes,
Have you either of you seen the show Never Have I Ever on Netflix, in which John McEnroe is the narrator?
I have not.
It's awesome.
That would be interesting.
That would be.
But at a point
So-
when they first kicked out David Lee Roth,
They wanted Patti
Patti
Smythe
Smythe
to be the
actually-
lead singer of Van Halen. And she
You're
said
talking
no.
about an entire branch of music that I don't care about.
Sorry.
what music do you care about?
Sorry.
I prefer
This
classical
conversation-
alternative.
David, do you want me to end the podcast?
Like,
What, Nick?
I mean, it's the same time frame. That's what you're
Said,
talking about, like
podcast frame.
REM and stuff like that.
REM's a little more mainstream than the stuff that I listen
Okay,
So-
to.
but still,
Give
that
us some
timeline.
groups.
Depeche Mode,
Oh, I love
Yaz,
Depeche Mode.
Erasure, those are all kind of one that
So new
morphed
wave.
in and
Yeah,
out of each
new
other.
kind of new
yes.
wave. Yeah,
New wave.
I love Depeche Mode.
Oh,
I hate Depeche Mode.
the House Martins.
I don't know them.
Absolutely love, and a little sad that Ian Curtis killed him. I would have loved to see what he could have done with Joy Division before he killed him. But I like New Order.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's I don't like to kill himself? Hutchinson.
Excess was
I like NXS. You know who else? Chris Cornell.
I can go with
I cannot. He
Oh,
had
yeah,
so
they-
many good groups.
yeah.
Soundgarden and Audio Slave. Love it.
Okay, people will sit there and be like I heard somebody actually was that one Idaho based
Oh
radio
yeah,
station.
that we
The
all
guys were
follow.
like the guys
Yes.
were like, what was the use of the traveling Wilburys? And I'm like, what was the use of Audio Slave? Because
I'm going to tell you right now,
an alternative version of traveling Wilburys.
the Wilburys were awesome. Can
They
you
were.
name all of them? I can.
Yes,
So Dylan
Dylan, Orbison,
and
Harrison.
Petty, Harrison,
Harrison.
and Jeff Lynne.
Jeff Lynne.
Can you name their real names? Not their real names.
Well, not
their
no.
Wilbury names.
No.
You know who can?
John, Frank,
Jim
Tina.
Lowry.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. But yeah,
Jim Lowry can name the Wilburys' names.
Huge Wilburys fan.
Love that.
Yeah, but Jim's like a weirdo.
Because that's basically what Audio Slave was intended to be. It was basically a super group of
Yeah.
alternative artists. Because it was him, it was the guy, the guitarist from Rage Against the Machine. It was, yeah.
Ooh, 9 Inch Nails.
I love them.
I just couldn't listen
No,
to
no,
it at
no,
home.
no.
because my
Sorry,
parents
it's a
forbade
he.
it.
It's Trent Reznor.
It is. But so,
It's him and like whoever he buys.
that's
pays to
fine.
play with him.
Nick, by the way,
Sure.
just so you know, the week of October 31st, which is November
Halloween.
1st or 2nd or so,
Halloween.
Mike and I have decided we need to do another election episode.
It's very important leading into these midterms to talk about the election again.
Agreed.
Tuesday. I'll be in court all day Wednesday.
We can do it Tuesday. That's fine. November 1st.
Yep.
That's
Nope.
a week before the
Nope.
election.
No, wait. I'm looking at October, November.
This will be after the cruise.
It will be after
You'll
the
probably
cruise.
be catching up from a work
When-
perspective from the
Wednesday
cruise.
will probably be better for me.
The other thing that's great is we will have like 2 or 3 cruise episodes to upload because we're doing cruise episodes.
All we're taking is this thing.
How
Yeah, we're
drunk
just
I
taking-
am. How old I am.
We don't take that thing and at least video.
Not taking that. Pain in the
Who
ass.
goes on vacation without a computer?
So I feel like my question didn't get answered.
What am I? What's that, Nick?
Sorry, guys. Oh gosh.
You do look out of it, I will say.
My yeah, I am and I feel like shit. So what do you want to see changed besides universal
Medical records.
medical records? Yes.
I think we kind of talked about one, just kind of making the costing more consistent. I think those are really kind of 2 big ones. I mean, it would really be nice if drug development, and then the funny part is my entire career is based on the fact that it costs billions of dollars to bring a drug to market, but it honestly would be nice if it didn't cost that much. And I mean, a lot of it is at this point because the companies that basically run the studies can set their prices
Yep.
because they know they have to be done. And I mean, I think there's a need for it. Like everything, the way it's designed is like, you need to make sure it's safe in animals before you're going to test it in humans. There are certain drugs that don't have to go into humans before they're just used for disease because it's considered, something that unless you have the actual disease, it's not worth actually giving it to you because, like I said, a lot of the cancer drugs are like that. I mean, a lot of the old style cancer drugs were basically like poisons. I mean, they targeted the tumors, but they also targeted all the healthy tissue of the body too. And so, those are ones that don't. But I mean, I said, even though, like I said, I work in an industry where, my company I work for is based on the fact that it costs billions of dollars to bring a drug to market. It would still be good if, like I said, you could either, decrease, like whether it's refinement in the number of, especially decreasing in the number of animals you have to use for the studies, or combining, three, points into one. But I mean, a lot of it would just be that. And like I said, that would bring down drug prices a lot too. Just, and I think failure is a lot less frequent than it is now because there's a lot better early stage technology to be able to say, okay, this one's, going to be toxic, or you can find that toxicity in, the first, $100,000 you spend, instead of getting to like, $20 million before you find it. So there's a lot. I mean, the other thing, and I guess it'll never happen, is just get over these religious nuts who think stem cell research is like the devil, because unfortunately, I think that's what's going to bring, like, people are all like, we need to cure cancer, we need to cure all these dementia related diseases.
But don't use stem cells.
But don't use stem cells. But those are what's
Those
going
are the
to
ones,
cure these diseases.
until you can experiment on human cells, you're
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
gonna find the answer.
But unfortunately, like I said, even though we're supposedly a country that separates church and state, we don't do a good job of separating church and state in this country.
Not at
Oh
all.
gosh.
I used to think when I was in my teen years and in my 20s that it was getting better.
Like, it's got
I
worse.
just think that I was not exposed to as much of the
I
shit.
think that's the problem, and now we're getting exposed to it again.
Mhm.
Because it's all these religious related groups that are doing things like
They feel
getting rid of
safe now
women's
for some
rights
reason.
and getting rid of LGBTQIA rights.
There's not
and-
some reason, there's many reasons.
Yeah, I don't want to go down that.
I know you
tangent
don't.
today. Another thing I think the healthcare industry needs is an increase in wages for the people
Agreed.
actually doing the work,
Agreed.
not the CEOs in charge of drug
Nope.
companies, but
The nurses,
the jobs listed for Spectrum, they're not even paying $15 an hour for intake. You can't afford to train somebody. So they have no sensitivity. So
Yeah.
the lady at the doctor's office desk can tell you you're wrong and
Yeah.
not realize that she's the one who's wrong. And the people at the pharmacy, they don't make enough money to
And yes,
know
you're
the
right.
answer to that question.
Your
No.
pharmacy tax and your like med tax or other things like that are like, your skilled nurses and stuff, and your doctors they're probably getting paid not much above minimum wage at this
No.
point in their life.
No, not at all.
They're not making a living wage,
Mhm.
so the system doesn't feel the need to train them.
Yeah.
So they're just doing the best they can with what little they already know. And
That's what's funny is I know when the professor was on with us
Yes.
not too long ago, and we talked about student debt. I mean, there was a lot of discussion about living wages versus a minimum wage versus the poverty line. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's like the poverty line is just above minimum wage, but then that's still way below a living wage.
Well, and
You look at it, and let's just say, doing quick math, and I know that's not always true, right? But like, let's say you're making $450,000 a year, right? Which is kind of the low end for medical doctors.
Depends on the
Divide
type
that
of doctor. I mean, your family practitioners aren't making that much.
not at all.
Your ER
And-
doctors aren't making that much. If you're
regardless of how much they're making, that's how much they make before they pay for their malpractice insurance.
Mhm.
So, right, divide that by 40 hours, divide that by 52 weeks, that's $216 an hour. Now, if you can impact 5 nurses for $1 an hour, and you're making $210 an hour, let's say 6 nurses, right? Like, pretty sure you're gonna go for it, right? Like, So for every 5 nurses, there's probably 1 doctor. I mean, if I had to cut it, like I'll ask my wife at some point. She's in the medical field, and like figure out how many nurses there are per doctor. But like at $5 an hour, they'll take the hit, right? And if you do trickle
Most
down,
doctors' offices are, I mean, you look at your like ERs. ERs are usually, even within like a certain, like just like if you're in a certain wing of an ER, it's probably a dozen nurses to a couple of residents and an attending.
Probably.
And then whatever, specialists that are on call, but the specialists that are on call are also the specialists that are in, if it's a
Upstairs
hospital,
doing
yeah, it's in
Yeah.
the hospital systems, or even if they're the specialists in the, systems like,
and that's
medical
just
offices
saying,
and stuff like that. So you got that, and then you're in a normal like doctor's office, and it's probably 5 or 6 nurses to each general practitioner and stuff like
Ours
that.
isn't even that much. Ours
Now,
is
Some
one
less.
doctor with 1 receptionist, 1 back office, 1 nurse.
Yeah.
That's it.
A lot depends on what you're in. Some are like, I mean, my allergist is a little bit of a different situation because I need the nurses to give all the
Yeah.
shots. So that's like probably 6 nurses, and then again 2 or 3 people who are the office workers to the 1 doctor who works there.
Well, again, I go in every 2 weeks to see a nurse only visit because I need to get my shot in my ass. And she's great at it.
Mhm.
But if she doesn't get to give it to me, everybody else sucks.
Mhm.
And, you sit there and you're like, okay, well, some people are really good at what they do, and some people are just kind of, they're
But
okay-ish.
even then, you talk about doctor rates, and yes,
Yeah.
doctor rates actually skew probably a lot more than nurse.
Oh, I would
Like you said,
agree.
if you're a, very specialized like orthopedic surgeon or something
Mhm.
like that, yeah, you're probably in the 7-figure range. But like I said, if you're
A general
a general
practitioner.
practitioner
Yeah.
or like maybe a country doctor who maybe does 10 different things, you're probably maybe hitting low 6 figures at the absolute most.
70, 80,000,
Yeah,
maybe.
like I said, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Low 6 figures is
So-
probably your peak. And so, yes, I mean, you could probably say that there's a skew, like you could probably average it out to where, yes, the average doctor probably makes 300 to 400,000, but if you probably did a median, which in this case, when there's that much of a skew, is a more accurate representation of the center point of your point, you're probably looking again at maybe $150,000 max.
Well, this is something we did not do at the beginning of the episode. So, typically when we have a guest on, we talk about their qualifications. So, one of the things I love about Wendy is Wendy's a teacher. And one of the best teachers around. Wendy, how long has it been since you've been in a classroom?
22 years.
Why?
Well, originally, it was so I could raise my children
Mm-hmm.
because I had just spent 5 years watching what happened when they didn't stay home and raise their children.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't matter whether it was mom or dad, but those kids knew they had somebody
Mhm.
who cared about what happened.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that parents who send their kids to daycare don't care, but if you're not careful about who you pick for daycare,
Mhm.
it makes a huge difference.
I know some, unfortunately, who are like, they just want to work. They just want to get break
Oh,
from being a
absolutely.
parent.
Absolutely. And
But I also know
I know.
I know families, and I know families where the father is the stay-at-home parent because the mother has
The better
the
job.
better job. And I mean, it really boils down to like in one family with that I used to work, a guy that I worked very closely with. His wife is a vet. She got her certification in veterinary pathology. Easily mid, in the $100,000 to $200,000 range, and he was could probably peak at 50 to 60. So at that point, yes, it was much more money effective for him to be the stay-at-home dad,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
when they got to their Well, they had one kid and then they had twins, and it was when they had the twins, and it was like, you're staying home, and it was. So it doesn't matter which one, because I said it doesn't have to be the mom staying home anymore in this world. I mean, unfortunately, there are probably still areas in this country where it's seen that the mom has to be the stay-at-home parent
That's a
because it
sin.
either A, looks bad on the dad to not be the one working, or
Perception
the
again.
perception,
Yeah.
or even the what, maybe a woman in a professional career
Mhm.
could still make less than a man in a factory job because of the major difference in, what they pay men versus women in
Yeah.
certain areas of the country.
Even in places where it is accepted, the schools often still won't call the dad.
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading something that one of my friends from high school wrote about how she's the working parent and her husband stays home with the kids. And when Susie was sick at school, they called the mom's work number, and she's like, why didn't you call my husband? He's first on the list. You're supposed to call him first. And then, well, we need to speak with the mother. We need to speak with the mother. No, you don't.
No.
You need to speak
100%.
with the parent who's there to help the
And
child at
that's,
that
yeah,
time.
that's the
I
unfortunate.
assume it's just going to be the mother.
Just dealt with this. Actually, it was funny because I was at my daughter's gymnastics.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, can you put this on an account? And she goes, oh, Watkins. And she goes, yep, Nick. Oh, and Courtney. And I was like, why the fuck does my wife have to be like part of this? Like, what? Like, and she goes, oh, it's, Courtney this, and you have to know. And I was like, no, like, straight up, like, I'm my daughter's father. Like, it'll come up. Like, you could just say my daughter's name, and I'm completely fine with that. But, like, I'm so appreciative of the fact that that was just said, right? Because as a guy who doesn't have a normal life, who actually showed
You have a much more flexible job that allows you to much more easily pick your daughter up from school if she's sick.
Yep, and people like they call and they're like, "Oh, we called your wife," and I was like, "Why the fuck would you call my wife?" Like, and they're like, "Well, she's listening." And I was like, "I get
She's
that,
the mom.
right?"
That's one thing, at least I think. But again, you also live in a area that is probably a little more conservative than other areas, and those are the areas that are going to do it.
Yeah, Jennison's pretty
Where
conservative.
I live, honestly, and Portage actually does a pretty good job of realizing, and we've got it in the
I would
paperwork,
agree.
the kids by addresses the address they use for their school, because I live in the school district. They have written in there that my job is a lot more flexible,
Yep.
and I'm closer to where, hi Emerson, to where they go to school than my ex is, and so I am actually the first person they will call, and they call her when I'm basically in a meeting and I won't answer the phone.
Yeah.
And then, but even then, it's usually like, hey, I just gotta. Yeah, I'm like, hey, yeah, I got the same call from the school. I'm guessing the kid needs to be picked up or whatever. I'm like, just give me either A, I can't get out of work, and you have your, parents grab them, or
So
give me 20 minutes and I'll be there.
I will say that we have a great perspective here because you have Portage kids.
Mm-hmm.
I have Plainwell kids because my address is my mother's. And my wife has Byron kids because her address is here.
Really don't have Plainwell kids though.
I don't. I mean,
Never
I
had a
don't
kid
have
in-
the kids, but
You never had a kid in the Plainwell
I
schools.
vote for them.
Yes.
I vote for them. So
Yes, and I would agree. Yes.
when we look at it,
When you do like a millage, that's what
Yes.
you're voting for.
so when I look at things, you're voting for Portage schools.
Mhm.
I'm voting for Plainwell schools.
Yeah.
And
the
my
diff-
wife is voting for Byron schools.
Well, the difference for you is you can take the very it doesn't really impact anybody who's in any way affected by me at all, and you
Yeah.
can basically be like, that's just a stupid thing to spend money on, or that's just a stupid rule to put into place. Whereas like with me and my kids, it's like, how does this actually affect my kids and their school? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, there are certain ones that I'm seeing some of these proposals, and I'm like, I really don't like this, but in general, this is going to be the better option for my kids.
Well, and when I look at it, I go, okay, what does this person believe in?
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled up all of the people that are running for Plainwell School Board.
And I'm sure they're all.
I don't know all, but I know 3 of them initially. I look at and I'm like, I'm not voting for you,
You
motherfucker.
said they have the mask.
Yeah.
To unmask our kids.
Unmask our kid, or I don't want gay people around, or whatever the fuck it may be. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not voting for you. Fuck off.
Mhm.
And that's all I'm looking for. What people am I voting against? Not necessarily for, but against.
Well, again, that's the issue, and that's why I think we need to have the election.
I would agree.
Because we're getting into it's still like voting for the lesser of 2 evils, and it's unfortunate that that's the way society has become.
And you look at
cases.
the 4 of us here. So it's you, me, Nick, and Wendy. And when we did the election episode, it was me, you, Nick, and Jim. Wendy's husband, yes. So when we look at it, we're like, okay, what makes the most sense? And Nick was adamant, hey, I don't like these policies. I have to vote libertarian.
It's fine. I mean,
Yeah,
I respect Nick more for voting libertarian because he didn't like, some of Biden's stances on, how he wanted to tax like those middle level like business owners and stuff like that. And the people who are like, I have to vote for Trump because I'm anti-abortion.
Anti-abortion or pro-gun or whatever it may be. And the 3 of us, me, you, and Jim, were like, yeah, we just got to beat that fucker.
Exactly.
Because like, he's a piece of shit.
Do whatever you can to get the pieces of shit out of office.
And I mean, we're in that election again. This is going to be the way it is every 2 years for the rest of yours and my life, probably.
Probably, unless something completely dramatic happens in a 2-party system.
And we're going to sit there and go, okay, what is the least bad option?
Well, so I agree with you. But I'm also looking at trying to take the Trump route because at this point, I'm thinking about running for something here in my town, right? Like in Jenison, right? And Courtney, my wife, keeps telling me, well, the things that you post, you're going to get denied. People are going to know that you're an asshole. And I'm like, well, if fucking Trump can do this.
Wait a minute. Back up for a second. The Trump route?
Yeah. So like
you're not that.
No.
Not, but like I will call people out.
You're not homophobic, you're not misogynistic.
Nick, you have a conscience.
But
you do have a conscience. You also have an empathy.
But I will tell people
to basically be like, I'm a businessman trying to become a politician, basically trying to get an office.
Yeah, but that's not Trump. Trump's a douche.
Yes.
Anyways.
Nope. I have no problem telling people they're stupid, and that's the biggest key is like, hey, you're stupid. Here's your sign, like stop. So right, I deleted a post. I delete things very, very minimal, right? And so we have this inclusive thing here, and actually it's funny because I took the side of the tenant. Somebody asked, hey, this person's going to be evicted from their house by next week. What's the thing that I can do to help them to keep them from being homeless? And my response was pay rent, right? And so then people hated it. Somebody commented, we don't need the negativity here. I get that you're coming from the landlord. The person actually knows me. They're like, you're coming from the landlord perspective. We don't need this.
That's the way you keep from getting evicted. You pay your bills.
Right. And so
it's the way you keep from getting into bankruptcy. You pay your bills.
I responded and I said, look, the people that are going to help you out are going to wait until it's too late for you. And they suck as companies. And the only time they're actually going to step up is when you can no longer find another place to live. You're going to have a criminal record, like you're going to have a record of an eviction on your thing. Like it's literally past the time of whatever. So whatever you do, just pay this and then figure it out from there, right? Like, because at this point, you're at the point of like no return and it's just game over. And then somebody comments bullshit. Somebody comments bullshit and they're like, hey, oh, you're a landlord, blah, blah. Like, oh, think about it this way. And I was like, you know what? I'm done with your fucking naive ass because again, I live this all the time, so I'm just done. I deleted my comment, deleted theirs, like, because people are so stupid in my opinion, right? Like, I can't stand stupid people. It goes back to the like today. Today I'm dealing with a lot of bullshit on a constant basis. David, I told you we could do this like what 3 hours before we started. Granted, I got on the phone and did whatever.
Yeah.
But so I get constantly, hey, where are we at with this situation? Who the fuck is we? And when the fuck have you tried to help me in one single bit, right? Like, where the fuck is we in this situation? And the problem is my dumbass doesn't understand how not to say it that way in text, because I text the same way I talk, right? And I'll say, who the fuck is we? Because I don't remember you making a single phone call. And they get pissed about that.
Well, I'm the same.
Well,
Funny part is I'm the same way with people who like use the word like us and we for like sports team, whether it's a college or a pro or whatever. Like my dad will do it. I'm like, you never went. Like he'll be like, we're doing so bad. Like a Michigan State game, and I'm like, you never went to Michigan State. You're not on the team. You're not part of the we.
Dude,
You're not part of the Chicago
we
Bears.
totally sucked on Sunday.
You're not part of the Chicago Bears. They totally
So-
sucked on Sunday.
They totally sucked. You're right, and I agree with you because
we the Lions.
we've gone to Cubs games together
Yes.
for
Yep.
20 years.
like
Yeah.
26, 27 years maybe. And how many base hits did you get?
None.
I didn't
I
get
remember.
any either.
I never hit the home run that won the
We-
game.
We sat in the bleachers or in terrace reserve, either way.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Yep.
hey, we love it. Go
Yep.
Cubs.
Yeah.
And never
We
got it.
drank beer and bought tickets. That's what
But
we
never,
did. Okay.
like, got put in as like the designated runner or the defensive replacement. in
Never
the
did any of
outfield.
that shit.
I mean, and that's
Here-
one thing is we're kind of gotten off into the politics and the election thing, but
We have.
to me, like,
So-
the election at this point, we're at 41 days from the election. It's
Yeah.
1 day less than 6 weeks from now.
So here,
It's going to be how healthcare looks is going to be majorly impacted by this election because
Yeah. Oh
no,
areas
Biden's
or might not
too
be able
fucking
to
stupid.
have
You and I
abortions
both know that.
or prenatal health or all these other things if
no.
the wrong people get into the office, unfortunately, because like I said, if certain areas, like I said, they'll ban abortions and they'll, try to, arrest doctors and nurses that are involved with abortions and that
Wendy-
will actually
So
probably cause some doctors and nurses to quit their job
because I'm a huge asshole. I'm on Twitter yesterday or the day before, either one.
maybe who knows.
It was not today. And I'm arguing with this fucking asshole. And mind you, I take screenshots of everything I do.
Mhm.
And I send it to you a lot, I send it to Nick a lot. Sometimes I send it to Jim.
Was that guy that he was arguing with on Facebook?
It was
Something
Gray
else?
Hanged.
Gray Hanged.
But Gray Hanged. Mind you, he not only blocked me, but he also blocked Robert LaSalle. But he never blocked Jim Lowry. I don't understand that shit. But I sent a message to Jim about what I said to this fucking idiot. And I got, again, one of the great compliments I can get. He goes, great response.
From Jim, that's probably about
It's
the
pretty
best.
good. So, mind you, this idiot's talking about John Gibbs and his leanings here,
him and his mom sitting on a couch.
basically. So
Yeah.
somebody had said something about, the fact that he is against women's suffrage. Anybody, real quick, what is women's suffrage?
That was their attempt to get the right to vote.
Right, they got the right to vote. So he's against that. And Dumbfuck goes, no, he doesn't. Are you watching Channel 8 interviews? And I said, since women's suffrage has caused this to occur on a large scale than any other cause in history, we conclude that the United States has suffered as a result of women's suffrage. John Gibbs. She goes,
with the term suffrage, does he think suffrage and suffering are the same thing?
possibly. So Dumbfuck goes, he wrote that while at Stanford to rile the Dems. It still works. You want to know how dumbass spelled works?
U-R-K?
WIRKS.
Not even something that would autocorrect.
Correct.
'Cause
I
it's
said-
not even a word.
That's why he tried to scrub his writings from the internet. And it's works. WORKX. Boomer. Can't wait until Prop 3 passes because it's going to piss off fossils like you. Because, again, I fucking hate the boomers. My mother's a boomer. I fucking hate the boomers.
Well, yes, because
And I sent that to Jim, and he goes, that's a great response. I'm happy because somebody I respect goes, yep, fuck them.
that is one where you really do wonder, knows what women's suffrage actually is.
They don't, because they're stupid.
The funny part is they had to give it like a bit, like a term, which
Yes.
is like when the blacks were trying to get the right to vote, it was never called black suffrage, because that might have actually like made people
Correct.
think it was something else.
Correct. Wendy was going to say something.
I don't understand how you alienate half of the population you're trying to get to vote for you.
Wait,
But
okay,
the thing is he can alienate he can alienate women all he wants, and a lot of them will still vote for him.
Here's my question. How many women are there to men in the United States?
51%, I believe.
So it's not half, it's over half.
Yeah.
And you're right. Women will sit there and go, oh, totally, I'm going to vote with that because women are too emotional to be in power. What the fuck are you talking about? How many women do you know have started a war?
and the funny part is like is that I did watch it when it was being aired. Of course, it's only one season into being aired, but I started watching this when I was looking for things to watch. Oh, Ghosts on CBS, which is I know a remake of the.
I'm totally.
And it is.
I'm told I need to
Teddy is
watch
like,
that.
she's from like the early 1800s, and she's like, women should be able to do this.
And
Again,
then she
it's like,
changes her mind.
but she changes her mind as she realizes, well, women should have always had these rights, and it's just the men that kept us down.
Mhm.
No, to be in the 21st century and still have women who are like, oh no, yeah, it's okay that these guys want to keep us down. These men want to keep us down. It's
Well,
like,
I
when,
have to vote how my husband votes. That's bullshit.
well, to me, the best part for me was with the most recent Supreme Court justice that put in. According to everything she says, she shouldn't have never even had the ability to be a judge. Because she's all about, women should just be at home barefoot and pregnant and blah, 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 blah. So it's okay for her to be successful and be a judge, but every other woman in the country has to be subservient to her man.
Anyway, the reason that I'm not teaching now, when my oldest moved out of the house and I maybe could have started to go back, COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then now that my youngest is gone, and this has kind of been the reason all along why I didn't go back when they started school or anything like that, was because my teaching certificate, in order to renew it, I would have to go back to college, which costs more than it pays to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to keep up taking graduate classes the entire time
And that was what
in order to keep the certificate current.
when my ex and I got divorced. She was a certified teacher. I think she's because mid-50s ish at this point. A
I am
little
49.
awesome. You're only a year older than me. So she's actually older than you.
Okay.
And she was a few years older than me. But she was the same thing. She hadn't really taught since basically she got started pregnant with her second kid. And so her teaching certificate expired at a point. So,
Mhm.
like, when we were going through our divorce, she was like, well, I probably need to start working again. And the lawyer is like, well, figure out when your teaching certificate expired. And if it expired while you were married to Mike, you could probably get him to have to pay for part of your. And thankfully, it expired when he was married to her first husband, because I was like,
Okay.
I'm not going to pay for you. I was
No.
never the one who kept you from working. I mean, yes, we agreed for you to do it, but if it would have been like, hey, I'm only 2 years from my teaching certificate expiring, I would have been in a heartbeat like, hey, go back to teaching.
I don't
If
know if
got
she can
out,
get back
she can
in.
get in. Can't she?
I don't know. We're gonna see.
It seems like she's pulled up hard enough for her to get back out. She should be able to get in.
I'm in the grass.
You would
like
think.
a foot in the grass. You can see from the front now.
Yeah, it would be much easier going this way.
Yeah. He's in, no problem. But in order for me to go back to the classroom now, and I did briefly do some substitute teaching in 2013, which is, by the way, soul sucking and horrendous because nobody trusts you. The kids don't trust you. The absent teacher doesn't trust you. You end up showing videos and having discipline problems. I'd have to go back to school. I would be either in school or working all the time. And frankly, I wouldn't make enough to pay the taxes that would, the income taxes that would add to our burden.
Well, and when you look at it, were you fulfilled the last few years of teaching?
I taught from 95 to 2000.
Okay.
I loved it. I loved every day. I loved every minute.
Okay.
Except for the 1 year that they assigned me the lowest level math class in the building for 2 hours. And then those 2 hours sucked.
Yeah.
But I was otherwise teaching French, which was elective at the time. Kids were not required to take a foreign language at that time. They are now. And upper level math. And the kids wanted to be there.
That's the difference. If you're in teaching classes where the kids really have goals to do things outside of whatever, like I said, bubble they're at. And that's why I said, like, when I was considering, an advanced degree and everything, like I said, for teaching would always been like teaching like at the college or university. Because
Totally.
again, those kids want to be, I mean, maybe not every kid wants to be there, but the majority of the kids want to be there. They want to learn something. And so, yes, they're much more apt to listen and be engaged than, and especially like I said, if you're teaching a low level math class, they're there just because they need that credit and they don't care if it's, an A or a D minus, as long as they get credit for that class.
My last year teaching, the year I was pregnant, I had 6 preps. I had taught French 1, 2, and 3 all in 1 hour. So I'd spend 20 minutes with each group. And then I had 2 sections of geometry, 1 section of functions, stats and trig, and 1 section of pre-calculus. And I was busy. So the intellectual, and 2 of those classes I had not taught before, the French 3 and the pre-calculus. So I was learning right with them. I was, preparing new lessons every day. I was grading a hell of a lot of papers. I was at the top of my game. And I needed to quit because I was having a baby. And the abrupt transition from being a full-time intellectually challenged teacher to being a stay-at-home parent. Devastating.
Mhm.
And I can imagine how bad that was.
Can you?
Well, I
Probably
mean,
not.
a little bit. I don't know if I can imagine it fully, but a little bit.
And then 7 months later, we moved to Kentucky. So now I have postpartum depression, 7-month-old infant, and no one. So, no one.
Yeah, the Kentucky thing. He's laughing because he knows where I'm going to go with this. Oh. The state I can do without.
They're in
So
Ohio.
that's a guy you can do without.
That's why we went
Two
there,
guys
because it was
I can
better
do
than
without.
Kentucky.
I can do without Kentucky. There are so many states I can do without. Iowa, West Virginia, Nebraska. So many states
If it
I can
wasn't
do
for
without.
Kentucky, though, you'd have no bourbon.
I'm okay with that.
Well, that's true.
I'm not a bourbon drinker.
We're not bourbon drinkers.
So, not to go off on another tangent, I'm having a conversation the other day with my daughter. And I'm
I've met her
talking
before.
You have met her before, once or twice. And we're talking about somebody near and dear to the show.
Professor?
No. And she goes, he needs to take better care of himself because I still need him around.
Mikey.
No,
Andy.
Steve.
Okay.
Steve has been sick lately.
Oh,
He's got some heart issues.
okay.
And the three of us love him to death.
Maybe it's time for, unfortunately, Steve to go away from the brown wine.
He might have to give up the brown wine. He has not been drinking much at all lately. And he's lost like 30, 40 pounds.
Yeah.
And
That'll happen when
he
you
has a
stop
stress
drinking.
test tomorrow.
Well, good luck on the stress
because his heart has not been great lately, and I love that guy to death.
And
I know.
Another 15, 20 years.
Yeah, I need him around at least until I drop dead.
Right.
Well, that may or may not happen.
I have at least 15 years left.
I mean,
so
hopefully you'll live beyond like 50.
50 is only 5 years.
Okay,
I think I have until 60.
So hopefully you'll live beyond 60.
Hopefully.
And unfortunately, if you had 60, Steve is
85.
old.
Pretty fucking old. So,
But I mean, you need Steve to last longer than your mother, basically, for you. Because you, even though, you will be very
sad when my mother goes away.
off when your mother
Yes.
goes away.
How's your mom doing?
So she has done really well since breaking her hip, and really is kind of back to normal. She still has so she has physical therapy coming once every week or so, and OT coming every couple weeks. She's doing really well.
Good.
I'm hopeful that when we go on our cruise, she's fine. Dawn's a little worried.
Matt's still to check on her.
She does have Matt to check on her, luckily. And I love my mom. But she wants me to run down there all the time. And it would be nice, if she'd come see us. That would be really nice.
Yeah, but again, give her a little break. I mean, it has only been.
Give her a little break. What are you talking about? So for like the last 5 years.
Okay. But still, from what I hear from you, it still sounds like she comes up a lot more here than you were going down there. That she needed to bury a cat.
I think your perception is wrong, but okay.
Because every time I would turn around, they're like, "But my mom's coming up on Sunday," but it'd never be like, "Oh, we're going down to visit my mom for
Half the time she would come up because she had to go to the vets. Just gonna say.
the cats are eventually the last cat is going to die.
She's down to the last one.
Sure, he's not young.
So that's something.
I have to go home, gentlemen. I don't see well in the dark.
I totally understand it. Nick,
So I appreciate Wendy joining us. Mike, thanks so much for driving up. Sorry, guys, I couldn't join you there. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. Wendy, if something happens tonight, give us all a phone call. We'll be at your doorstep. It'll be really awkward for them and you because we'll all be there supporting.
if you need help driving home, we can help.
I'm not fighting my way back up.
Too far. Thank you.
So
It's only
Here.
a couple roads away, luckily. So thanks for joining us.
So that you get to your business.
Again, good episode, I think.
Good episode.
Good beers. Nick,
shout out to
yeah.
oh god, I had some Bud Lights and then I switched to Oddside Ale, a 2016 Mocha Munt.
Okay.
And then I had a 2016 KBS. And I had a 2015. Excuse me.
You went into the
He went into the cellar.
I did. I was in my basement. And I had.
Which is a few years ago. I didn't know you could keep beer that long after it was made.
You can.
I had an Imperial Maya Mocha from Oddside Ales again.
Yeah, Mayan's good.
Yeah, so I had a very decent selection tonight. I'm paying for it in the fact of my throat is killing me, but
You look like you're
I'm
about
happy.
to pass out.
Yeah.
I will say that my Black Calder, just another day IPL, I enjoyed again. Mike did not like it.
I was able to get through about half of it, and then it was just kind of like, no, I can't.
He was not a fan. Mind you, the O'Fallon's salted caramel pumpkin beer
That was good.
was delicious.
The
And then I had a Mother Smucker's and a Rourke.
the Jolly
Double Dog.
Pumpkin Artisan Ales Vampire Farmhouse Ale was good. Like I said, the pumpkin one that he shared with me was good. I did enjoy the Kona Brewing Big Wave Golden Ale with the Liquid Aloha. And actually, before we had gotten on camera, I had drank a I remember which one. It was the Perrin Passion Fruit Goza.
So, again, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
We'll be back next week with another new episode. If you have something you want to hear about, please let us know.
I will not be on the porch that night.
None of us will be on the porch that night. If anybody's watching this right now, it's very dark on the porch. But we had a good time. Mike, did you have a good time on the porch? It's really nice
rare
porch.
that we don't have a good time on the porch.
True story. I do enjoy the new porch.
Looking forward to when you have the awning.
Awning will be great. That'll be next spring. We'll have another porch episode, and maybe Nick can come.
Maybe Nick can come.
And if you guys want to hear about something specific, please hit us up. We would love to hit on issues that you care about. And
there's always a possibility that it sounds like it's going to be next Tuesday based on Nick's schedule on Wednesday that maybe I'll come up to studio.
Studio is a good time. So again, as Nick said, like, subscribe, share, and we will talk to you guys next week.
You've dialed in to Box and Brews. You might hear something you can use, like tips on your cash or tips on the suds. You're gonna want to use the smarts of these stuff, cause they know the brews, and they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks. So listen up, cause shit's not funny, and save yourself some beer money. Box and Brews.
Bucks and
Box and Brews.
Bucks and Brews.